Welcome to the stream. It's a streamy, streamy dream. It's a very fun stream. Let's go. It's time for streaming content on the internet with interactive chat featuring you and me. We're working together to create a product, a live synchronous product worldwide using chat. Using chat. Dude, I have this fucking amazing voice that I don't use often enough. Do you guys ever wonder, like when you're watching me, why is he not a professional singer? Why is he doing this streaming thing? Why did he do the NVIDIA thing? Why didn't he just win American Idol free and become one of the greatest? I just have this range. I can go high. I can go low. It's like I just have this I have this ability. I thought the opposite. All right, well, some people are born haters. That's crazy. Some people are born haters. But it's crazy that the thing is, even though I could go on Broadway, I'm in fact going to go to the NBA because I've got skills with the round ball. Atrioc's voice is like my grandpa. Oh, I didn't know your grandpa was a hybrid of Neil Patrick Harris and James Earl Jones. Atrioc, have you seen the Not Like Us music video? Yeah, we already watched it on stream yesterday. Yeah, we watched it fucking live recently. Adrian, thank you for the 15 months. James McCarran, thank you for the 15 months. So true. Can't wait for you to take care of the request for us to make bad music. Oh, right. I did say that, didn't I? I'm going to immediately regret it, I'm sure. Atrioc, did you hear about the Kendrick and Drake beef? No, I've never heard of such a thing. Thank you for keeping me updated, mobile chatter. Atrioc, I'm sorry. This is so hard to decipher. This is your first time chat message, Bikim Batman XOX, and it just says music. What does it mean? You just showed up. You said music, and then you haven't elaborated. What was the purpose? What did it? I'll never fully understand. Best message in a long time. Really, best message in a long time. Can I just see what kind of standard you're setting? Your messages are about, did you see the new vapes that can use Twitter? When I'm a doubter, I feel simply more intelligent. I choose to make steady, reliable returns instead of pulling the lottery ticket. Okay, yeah, I mean, I guess his message does make yours look bad. Atrioc, I'm playing Overwatch right now and I haven't felt better. Is that a cry for help? Are you saying the happiest moment in your entire life is playing Overwatch right now? It feels like a real, sincere, desperate plea for someone to notice your struggle. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Kebabo7. I am sick today. I'm ready to react to content to distract me. We are going to react to content today. Today's Get Smarter Saturdays. We're all going to improve our intelligence by 10, 15, even 30-fold. Hi, Explorer Rain. How are you guys doing? I hope your weekends are going well. My day was pretty uneventful. I was going to make up something very eventful, but I can't even think of anything. I didn't do much. I fucking walked my dogs. I read the Financial Times. I got some friends, did a little work meeting, and Atrioc, you star in Amazon's The Boys. I did play Billy Butcher. You got me. Diabolical. That's me. You got a spot on image and also mannerisms. Hey, Atrioc, my grandma got a call from Faker. He said to buy the bundle and stream. Faker called your grandma to tell me through my chat to buy the bundle. That doesn't seem like the best way of Faker to reach me. Did you watch Gen V? I haven't seen Gen V. I'm not even sure if I will, because now I feel like I've caught up to it by watching The Boys. You kind of look like A-Train more than Butcher. I am sometimes known as the white A-Train. What did you do to prepare for your role as the... You guys know I've met Keith Urban. I've met him in real life. Okay, we are personal friends. Well, okay, the second part's a bit of a joke. I have met him. I met a Carl Urban. Did I say Keith Urban? I met Keith Urban too. I know Keith is the nickname I have for Carl. Okay, because it's a funny. He doesn't want to be called after an American country star. I'm like, oh, Keith, Carl. What? You wouldn't get it. It's an in joke between friends. Big A has missed my sub 32 months in a row. If I find out, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say thank you for the 32 months. Of course. Sincerely, I appreciate the support. But if I find out that I've thanked you before, or if you try to pull this gambit again on your 33rd month, we're going to have words, bro. Because I feel like I have read your sub before. Justin, in fact, I feel like I've done this before to you. I feel like you keep running this gambit, and I don't want to hear it. I'm putting a mod note. No, I'm putting a mod note. How do I do that? How do I add a mod note? Warn. I'm putting you a warning. Warning. Don't try that stuff again, bucko. That's so non-specific. That'll help me. I said, don't try that stuff again, bucko. And that's not going to help me at all in 1 month. I'm going to have no idea, but it'll get us started. It'll get us started. Heterological, thank you for the 14 months. Much appreciated. Icon Willie, thank you for the 41 months. Can you tell the story about how you saved Obama from the drone strikes? It all started when young Barack was fiddling with the drone strike button that he himself installed. And he was just having a blast, and he was saying, drones, 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 more drones, please. And he kept asking and asking and asking everyone to buy him more drones and more drone strikes. Until one day there were so many buttons he didn't know which was which, so he pressed them all. And one of them had been targeted right at him. What a shocker. Thankfully, I stepped in, and I took a baseball bat, and I knocked that drone right out of Fenway Park, if you can believe it. And then I got a standing ovation, and they said it was the greatest home run America had ever seen. The end. Every July 4th, we remember this moment. Fenway, but you hate Boston. Curious? Well, bad memories. I love that story. Hitchrock, did you hear about the running gel company that claimed their gels had 180 calories and they were lying and underfilling packets and confirmed they only had about 6? Wait, they lied about it had too many? They said 180 and it was less? Running gel lying. I don't see it. Spring Energy Gels? Oh, yeah. Here it is. The downfall of Spring Energy Gels. Apparently, Redditors figured it out? Dear God. Oh, yeah. They just had way less calories than stated. Interesting. Interesting. Hey, you know what? This is what the fucking FDA should do. I mean, I thank God there's some nerdy enough fucking Redditors and people on Twitter out there to do this, but insane that this was not checked. So annoying. Oh, I have to upload this. I have to upload this video. The thumbnail is done. Shark Tank. Shark Tank V5. Oh, you know what? Maybe this thumbnail's not quite there. No, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. What do you guys think? It's called Shark Tank in 2024 Be Like. What do you think? It's like solid, right? He's face palming. You're interested. Wear red circle arrow. I don't think it needs one. I don't think it needs one. No, I'm not gonna make the burger Bergsy. Add a face to the burger? No, that doesn't make any sense because that's not what the product was. More like Shark Stank. No, I'm not gonna add 2 snipers. I'm not. No, you've definitely used that title before. Have I? Wait, have I done that title before? It sounded so good. Wait, let's see. Shark Tank. What have I used for Shark Tank titles? Shark Tank, but it's only crypto scams. Mr. Wonderful's biggest scam, Shark Tank. The cringiest Shark Tank pitches of all time. The most successful Shark Tank pitch ever. These Shark Tanks were disasters. The Shark Big Day Company. Shark Tank pitch aged terribly. Mark Cuban wrote the biggest check. The worst product in Shark Tank history. Gwyneth Paltrow ruined Shark Tank. Is this the dumbest pitch in Shark Tank history? He tried to pitch a crypto scheme on Shark Tank. That one did really well. The biggest fight in Shark Tank history. Crypto Shark Tank. The biggest deal. The pitch that got Shark Tank canceled. The youngest CEO on Shark Tank is a killer. Oh my God. No, I did 2023. I did Shark Tank in 2023 is insane. Shark Tank in 2024 Be Like. Dude, it's totally different. It's totally different. Case closed. Fucking case closed. Never, ever, ever, ever try to fucking fact check me again, all right? I have an encyclopedic knowledge of all my videos. Can I tell you something? If you guys want a little interesting quirk of the YouTube algorithm. So when you're doing the YouTube, when you upload on YouTube, the first circle of people it shows it to you are kind of your closest fans. People that regularly watch your content and are interested in your stuff. Once it does that, it'll show it to your casual fans, who are like people that dip in and out, watch everything now and then. Then if it is done well in that circle, it starts going broad. In the first circle, the Chili's video was a like 1 out of 10. It was phenomenal. In the parasocial circle, that Chili's video was past Marketing Monday. Once it hit casual, it had the biggest drop off. It had the biggest fucking drop off. It has gone from 1 out of 10 to 9 out of 10 so fast. It's crazy how ahead of the pack it was. It was truly for the culture. It was truly for the culture. But what's funny is how many of my IRL friends have watched that video. People, I could like work really hard on a video and upload it, and they probably won't even watch it. Most people I know in real life. But like this video, everyone I know in real life has watched it and messaged me about it. They love it. I don't know. It's funny. It's funny. It's funny. It's such a polarizing video, you know? It's like sorting by controversial on Reddit. So interesting. And plus, I feel like I've started a movement of people saying Wakanda forever. It's kind of like my thing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that could be like an Atrioc community thing where we all say Wakanda forever. You got to do more IRL. I do want to. It's fun. I really wish I had someone who was really knowledgeable about IRL tech. If I could get an extra Emily type setup, I would do IRL all the time, interesting things. But when it's just on my phone, it's very difficult because we can't have chat on screen and we can't. It's like, I just don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. RDC West, thank you for the 18 months. AG11, thank you for the 21. Taffy Goose, thank you for the 5. Just an idea for a Shark Tank, but it's for crypto. We could call it Killer Sharks or Killer. Thank you so much for that brilliant idea. Pure Seal, thank you for the Prime. Mock Mike. Can we get like a little Wii Shop music or something? Or like a DMCA free. Didn't Lud make something like this? DMCA free Wii Shop. But well, that's just the main one, but it says DMC free in the title. Atrioc, you should definitely number the Shark Tanks. People can usually tell which ones they've watched before. No. No, I won't. Thank you so much for your for your suggestion, though. I simply will not be doing that at all. But I will be uploading this video about Shark Tank in 2024 is Shark Tank in 2024 be like. Okay, I don't like be like. It sounds stupid. Now that I see it written out, it looks and sounds stupid. So I need to tweak it. You know what I need? I need to, here, I'm going to actually go, we're going to go crazy. Let's build this together. We're learning live. It needs to be about how Mark Cuban thinks these burgers are dumb. However, this logo isn't really helpful. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the logo. We're going to duplicate this. And then we're going to select this part. And then we're going to content aware fill. And now we got a normal burger. And then we're going to put, we're going to get some, look at all these layers. This is my new file. Bro, this is my new file. It's already at 200 layers. I started a new one on the new computer. This had 200 layers already. We'll get the table for one, please. And then we're going to switch it to robot burgers. Okay. And then we're going to rotate that bad B like this. And then I get to test it if it's better with yellow or with red. Robot burgers. Robot burgers. Maybe just white text. This is what I could... You know, I just got unlocked A/B testing. And it's actually flames. It's actually bringing out my data nerd. I have been trying A/B testing. For example, I A/B tested the Hitman video, and I was like, this thumbnail has to be better. And I did another throwaway thumbnail just to see. That one was like 15% better, the throwaway one. And I was like, oh shit. So I switched to it. I think I'm just gonna go with white text. But I'll put a little something on it. A little stank. Robot burgers. Actually, I think the effects don't help. Well, the gradient overlay doesn't help. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. I might need to make the text a little bigger because when it gets shrunk down, let's go to like 95. All right, perfect. Now I upload, and now my job is done. Hardest job in the world, folks. Hardest job in the world. Clocking in, getting it done. This is the difference. Shark Tank in 2024 has lost it. We're back, and we're still learning business all these years later from the sharks. No, and we're learning how to survive in post-COVID business world in the Edited by name. Editor, please add your name. Editor, please add timestamps. Editor, add name and timestamps. I'm going public. Quack, tell the editor to do that, please. Whoever is the editor. I think it was Arid. All right, done. Edit. Video's uploaded. And with that, folks, with that, we have completed a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 day, 7-day streak of uploads. 7-day upload streak. 1 week of main channel uploads, baby. Haven't done that in a year, maybe. No, we are taking a break tomorrow. But we'll be back on Monday with brand new Marketing Monday. So how about that? How about that? That plus clip channel? Sheesh. Sheesh. Wait. No F's, right? I'm getting a bad bit rate. I'm getting a bad bit rate. No, you guys are faking the F's, but I am getting a bad bit rate, which is cringe. I had before we get into Get Smart Saturday, I want to just do topic discussions, you know? And because of that, I wanted to ask you if you guys had any topics you want to discuss. And I brought one. I brought a topic. My audio's not delayed. But I'll answer some questions first. Wait. Big A, I got a job prospect coming up for me. It's a sales job that focuses on selling to contractors. Any advice in the second interview? You already made it to the second interview. So right now, you're in the part of the job where you need to not appear crazy. You're far enough along that the real thing you need to do is not disqualify yourself. Don't fuck it up, okay? They've already filtered past the part about qualifications, really, honestly. If you're in second round interview, it's mostly about personality and like making sure they vibe with you than if you're just outright not qualified. So I think you're good, bro. I think just go in, be friendly, be nice, eye contact, handshake, say you're willing to learn, say you're willing to hustle. I don't know, just fucking, you know, get out there and do it. Tell them you like Game of Thrones way too much. Talk about Game of Thrones. You know, selling's a lot like Balerion the Dread. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the Lannisters could sell. Let me tell you about that. Constantly reference the book. What? Big A, I want to get into streaming in the software and game dev category. Any advice? You should ask like Pirate Software this or something, man. I think what you should do is the really simple answer is the hard truth is you should do it. Okay. And then you should be entertaining at it. Okay. So this is the hard part. The second part's the hard part, but first part is also hard because people don't do it. So you need to do the first part long enough to where you get good at this second part. And I know that sounds like simple advice, but it is the only advice. And if you try anything else, it won't work. Right? That's the only thing that will work is that if you do it consistently and you are actually good at it. Don't stream first, do YouTube first. You can do either one, bro. You can do either one. It's practice. I mean, Pirate Software had like 5 years or something of streaming to 20 people, and then it hit when he had the shorts. It's do you know what I'm saying? It's you just got to get the reps in. Atrioc, have you seen the new wave of PDF hunters that don't call the cops or anything and just beat the fuck out of them? No, I haven't seen that, and I don't support that. Call the cops, arrest people. Vigilante justice is stupid because there's no fucking oversight, and people get things wrong all the time. Big A, what's your thoughts on Carlos Sainz signing with Alpine? Oh, dude, Sainz with Alpine, that is a mismatch. That is like peanut butter and spaghetti. Do you know what I'm saying? His personality is not going to fit with their system. Am I right or am I right? Just speak up if you know that, if you're a fan like I am. Atrioc. I got a new job in DX software at a tech company used by both Rivian and Nvidia. I watch Marketing Monday every week, and it didn't help me get the job one bit. Okay, cool. You're also muted, so you don't want to hear my response. You dropped a message, which is fine. I'm happy for you to get the job, and then you muted, and I like that. I like that confidence. Good luck. Atrioc, I started as an in-house attorney at a company in January. A few days ago, I got another offer for the same position in another company with a 3% increase in salary, so I rejected. At what percentage would you say it's worth it to quit? That's a your call, bro. That's a your call based on your lifestyle. How much you want to make money, how much you want to spend, how happy you are with your current job, how much you like your boss and your coworkers and your employees and your chance of growth and all. You're giving me that information. What I will say is, job hopping that quick is a little whack. It's like a bad look unless it should be a bigger raise. Like if you just started and then you're instantly job hopping for a 3% raise, unless it sucks, you should stick out a little bit. Atrioc, I'm ancient, 30 years old. You're not ancient at 30. You're not ancient at 30. Obviously not. Obviously you're not ancient at 30 because 30 is a very spry age. It's young and you still have much life left to live. I wouldn't even consider yourself ancient until so much later. So much later. Do you know Jesus Christ was in his prime at 33? Kind of the best year to be, 33. Christ-like. Would you say you're physically declining? Be honest, please. This is actually a good question. I was talking about it with Lud the other day. Lud and I were playing basketball, and he was telling me about how we were talking about ages. People say they start feeling it. We're talking about ages, and he was like, yeah, Slime says 34. He started feeling old. Like his body felt worse. And then Stan said 31. 31 is when you start feeling it. Here's what I'll say, and I'm being dead honest with this. The trick to not having that realization is to live like a fucking degenerate in your 20s and then get healthy in your 30s. Because I've never felt better, bro. I've never felt better in my fucking life, and I'm not kidding. I feel healthier. I feel stronger. I just fucking lived like absolute shit in my 20s and fucking sat on my ass on the computer all day, hunched over, didn't go outside, didn't sleep right, didn't eat right. Like I lived like absolute shit. And then now, in the past few years, I've taken care of myself, and so I feel like it's trending up. I feel better every year. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm not kidding. I swear to God, this is exactly how I feel. I feel the opposite. I feel much better. So I don't know. That's my advice. Is just don't. See, the problem with Lud is he's in good shape. He's in 20. He's his late 20s. He's in good shape. He's gonna have a generational fall off. He's gonna get a massive beer belly. His hair's gonna fall out. He's gonna feel old as shit and creaky. Lud at 34 is gonna be terrible, bro. But me, I'm fucking set, dude. I'm glowing up. Booted up my PS3 for NCAA Football 14 to prepare for the new game. Big A, who are you rebuilding in your first dynasty? Is this a fucking ad? Is this a fucking ad? Why did I pull this up? Get off my fuck. What are you talking about? Who are you building your dynasty with? No, I don't. What are you? Big A, I'm in a new marketing position at Twitch. No, you're not. You'd have a Twitch staff badge. Don't fucking make up stories, bro. Unless you just started today, you would have a staff badge on your account. It's automatic. You started today on Saturday? Big A, I just took over as CEO of Amazon. Any advice? Now that I can believe. Jeff, good. Not Jeff. This would be Who was it? It was the fucking guy we reported to. Wow, why am I blanking? Damn, this is a boomer moment. Andy Jassy. Andy Jassy. Hey, Andy Jassy. Good to see you. I think you'll be fine. Just keep on focusing on cloud. You know what I'm saying? That was your big thing. Focus on cloud, Jassy. I just took over. Call him Hugh Jassy. Very nice. I should have done that in all hands. I should have raised my hand and said, "Can we call you Hugh? Because you got that donk." And then everyone with a standing ovation. That's a good idea. Damn, regrets, you know? Hey, Big A. Biden here, wondering how to do better in the debates. Bro, people are going to talk about that debate. It's going to be historically studied. What a terrible debate. I was watching he did an interview today, and he's obviously better. I mean, it was like, you know, it sucks to flip the coin and get the absolute worst version of yourself during the debate. He clearly can do a little better than that. He did the interview today for ABC. It was better, but the thing is, his voice is still so soft. Like they were cranking up the gain, bro. It was I don't know, it's tough. It's tough. I like the people he's appointed, but he's not really, he doesn't feel like he's the right age to be president. That's all. Like, it's just the obvious fucking. Maybe he's just shy. It's your gawk. I just got a really good marketing job at a Fortune 500 fintech company straight out of college, thanks to you forcing me to get a marketing degree. I definitely didn't force you to do that, but that's very awesome. Good job. Guaranteed rotational work for 2 years, but it doesn't mean to prove my worth to stay with the company afterwards. What is rotational work? I'm sorry if I'm missing a obvious. What is rotational work? What does that mean? He spins. Is a stripper. I gotta rotate that thing. What is rotational work? I don't know what that means, but you mean it's like contract work for 2 years and then after that they're gonna check? That's fine. That's fine. I mean, 2 years is an insane guarantee. I don't even believe it. Not that I don't think you're lying. I think they would clearly break that in a moment if they. Do you know? I don't think they've actually guaranteed you 2 years. 2 years is insane for. They don't even guarantee a full-time employee guaranteed. But anyway, any advice to stand out without peaking too early? I wouldn't worry about peaking too early. In fact, one advice that I give a lot is when you're starting at a company, the vibe you set early follows you for a long time. So if you like give off this go-getter, helpful, get out there vibe, even if you coast it a little bit later, you're still the go-getter. But if you coast it first and then try to turn it around later, it's like almost impossible. You're like locked into your. So you need to. You actually should. You should work extra hard at the beginning because it has this positive halo effect for the rest of your time. So that's my advice I would give to you is don't worry about peaking early. Try to peak as early as you can. Watch Eamon's set. Big A, can you link me? Is Eamon playing right now? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Can you link me? Is Eamon playing right now? Or did you make that up? BTS Smash. Twitch.tv/BTS Smash. Oh my god, he is playing right now! Usually. Eamon Gaming!
People in the chat like, no,
this is just massive damage racking up here.
Yeah, it's huge. Missing that tech is
Eamon Gaming in the red trunks versus Sumikret in the gray. Now, one thing you should know about Eamon Gaming is he's a filthy chain grabber in Sheik Dittos. And while I love him and support him, he is a dirty dog.
But at the same time, whoever gets this grab, like, this is either... This is gonna
okay,
be game,
he's moving. He's moving.
Next grab.
He's getting the knee. Oh, almost did a little fancy trick there.
Mate.
So if you don't play melee,
Yeah,
you have to understand these are both playing Sheik. And
when
when you play Sheik and you grab another
So,
Sheik,
like,
you can
I mean, I
infinitely
think
grab them to
with
death.
you wrap up
Which he's going to do right here.
melee
Watch.
at 6
Grab.
PM,
Oh, he's going for a
I'll
combo.
probably
That
clean
was
up
actually
for
a
an
huge
hour
waste.
here because we're gonna come back on Monday.
Okay.
But you got the kill. Let's go. Let's go. Big Eamon.
So that'll take me. That'll take a
You also have to watch Eamon's face. So let me move you guys out of the way.
Stack him or do you have to get him out?
Look at his
I
face.
mean, most of them are
Look at the
community
expressions
setups,
on his face. He shows every emotion.
They're our stuff. Dom has
He-
2 trips worth of
He
stuff.
is not capable of keeping a poker face. Well, look, this is what I'm talking about. This is the
We
grab.
got cards. We'll get it done.
Boom! Wow. What a
This
what
game
a
might be a
what a domination from
Oh.
grab.
unless. So we almost made that comeback last Battlefield game against Goodies.
This
so
is losers. Who do you lose to? I don't know.
Gotta be ready. I feel like it's aiming, you don't want to be smiling,
And-
you're
And
only locked
nodding
in
his
your eyes.
head, focusing, locking in, bro.
Almost
Yes,
like this
yes,
situation.
yes. And that's the
I
game.
guess
Grab the
it's,
ledge. Grab the
2
ledge.
stocks short.
And that's the game. Grab the ledge. Grab the ledge.
I reckon it's over.
And that's the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
You mash out a couple of down smashes.
He's laughing. He's shaking his head. Let's
He
go.
likes it.
You get the guy. He loves
Let's
it.
go.
He's chuffed.
He is chuffed.
Delated.
As the Aussies say, he's chuffed. This is losers quarters.
Aiden being here means that they got the.
Or
run
how
back
far
in
is he?
the
I mean, this is
game.
pretty
Managed to
good.
win this time.
Yes.
After a big pop off with the pre-local.
Wait, this is the Chandra I'm talking about. This is
I heard
brutal.
about that. I heard there was a pop-off
Doing this
into
is
an
so
apology
cringe,
about a pop-off.
And only Aiden gets a pass because he's such a cutie pie. Okay? But it actually is cringe. It actually breaks the brotherhood of sheiks, and it actually is
Come
whack-a-doodle.
on, Soom. Give us a
And true
That's
sheiks
not-
would never do it,
shot.
okay?
We almost got there.
True fans of the game.
I want to see some punish.
We're not going to watch this whole thing because a Sheik Ditto best of 5 can take a while, but I'll hop back in when he's about to win. All right, I'll hop back in. How the I have a topic, but I'll bring it up. Doesn't J-Mook chain grab? J-Mook's the goat, and we'll never discuss anything he does as bad. Big Guy started it in the North Face. Oh, that's cool. And I'm given resources with lots of details on products. It makes me feel like non-competes have a time and place. Crims. Crims, are you coming in here to give me a pro non-competes argument? That's insane, bro. That's insane. That's insane. Are you? What are they paying you? What are they paying you to do this? No. Gotta get the shareholder value up. You got a stock plan you're really fighting for? That's crazy. Just look at all of the insane amounts of abuses it's been used for. I told about so many of them in that video. I listen, as I mentioned in the video, the original intended purpose of non-competes was for high-level executives who had very, very key important material information to the business that would be so damaging if it got out that it could kill the business. In that situation, it's possible they could work out a contract. But for the way it was used for the average American, of which 30% of working Americans were locked into a non-compete, it was abusive, it was restrictive, and it was designed to keep pay down. Okay? I despise non-competes. I despise them, and I despise that a fucking terrible ass, shitty federal judge has blocked the rollout of the FTC's non-compete ban. I get mad about it because it's so fucking cringe. It is so un-American. It is damaging millions of people in service of very few. And I hope that it gets overturned and it gets passed through. And yeah, that's what I think. I'm just telling you, you will not convince me, I think, very easily that non-competes have a time and place, especially for a regular worker. That's crazy. I did see this. Did you see the clip? We can watch this clip together. This is Lula, the president of Brazil, And they were calling him old. They were like, hey, you're maybe too old to run. And he's like, I'm not old. I have the energy of a 30-year-old and the lust of a 20-year-old. But he says it in like such a, I mean, it's in Spanish, so you're not going to be able to understand it. But he sounds old as he's saying it, bro. Look. How old is he? He's like 30 years younger than Biden. I think it's like 60s.
Vou lá, primeiro no Paraguai, depois. Então, quem achar que o Lulinha tá cansado, pergunte pra Janja. Pergunte pra Janja. Ela é testemunha ocular. Quando eu falo que eu tenho 70 anos de idade, energia de 30 e tesão de 20, eu tô falando com conhecimento de causa. E, portanto, não adianta tentar atrapalhar a minha vida. Não adianta tentar prejudicar o Haddad, prejudicar o Camilo. Sabe por quê? Porque eu tenho consciência que eu não sou eu. Eu sou vocês. Eu sou vocês. E amanhã...
Big A, I'm currently working part of my event's marketing team. I travel across North America exhibiting networking with 20+ year professionals. I'm 25 and it's my second year in the very old industry, construction. I don't know what I'm doing and I'm currently on LinkedIn applying. I'm having trouble parsing your message. You travel across North America exhibiting networking in construction. I can't picture what you do. I'm sorry. I can't figure this out. However, it sounds like you work in construction, not as actual physical labor. And it sounds like everyone you work with is old and you're trying to figure out what to do. And that is a real problem. You could either get the fuck out or you could learn a lot and then be the young gun, which would also be probably very lucrative. But yeah, I would learn how to write, not being insulted, but clear, direct sentences. Communication is very powerful. Yeah, I mean, listen, if it's a bunch of old guys, they want to hang out with you, bro. They like it. You're bringing the energy. You just show a willingness to learn, dude. They're gonna fucking promote you in no time. They'll be all over. They'll be trying to help you out. And you know, anything that makes money off of actual production of things and blue collar production is like such a safer thing to be in for the next fucking 10 to 15 years than like another fucking Chat GPT rapper AI startup. Just API calling Chat GPT and pretending it's a new business and trying to raise money and running around. Any tips for not getting bored dead in the Bay Area? What part of the Bay Area? Are you in fucking San Jose? Are you in Man Jose? In which case, there's no tips. Start a stream. Start a stream. Otherwise, but if you're in like SF, there's stuff to do for sure. San Jose just sucks. Is that why you started streaming? Basically, I mean, I was putting all my time into grinding NVIDIA, and then COVID happened, and then we were all worked from home, and at the same time, because of COVID, everything started selling out. There was like these massive shortages of GPUs. So they were actually telling us not to market. Like there was points where they were like, hey, don't like try to push anything because then people are going to get mad that there's none available. So like we would do stuff. We would do stuff on laptops but it wasn't as hard. And so like that particular like 6-8 month period or whatever, that's when I started streaming because I was stuck at home. There wasn't a ton to do. There was stuff to do, but not, not like it was the year before. And then I started streaming. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Thanks for spoiling me on 7 yesterday. It made me want to watch it. It's amazing. Damn. That is the TikTok effect. Where spoiling the greatest scene of a movie makes you want to go watch it anyway. Like, you'd think it's the worst way to get into a movie, but it works because they get hooked by just cutting straight to the best. That's funny. That's funny. But yeah, I agree. 7's a great movie. Yeah, it's very good. A little dark. But what are you going to do? What's a movie that happened to me with? I saw a clip of a movie and I was like, damn, that's interesting. And I ended up watching it and the rest of the movie wasn't as good. Oh, it was Ben Affleck in Boiler Room when he does the keys on the table. This one. That was basically his own scene in the movie. You can see people idolize his lifestyle. Yeah, exactly. He sold the pitch well in that scene, but the scene was elevated over the rest of the movie. I swear, my first 2 sales jobs, everyone thought they were all Ben Affleck here. It's just so on the nose for how people like in that Sigma grind set. Attitude. That's why I thought it was so funny. I did door-to-door sales, same shit. Yeah, exactly. Everyone's dude, I remember Stans was in a sales job and everyone got fired. They didn't have the money or whatever. Everyone got fired. That was a total layoff. And one of the guys was a total Chad like that, like really just like a ripped, salesman, Giga Chad. Didn't even really care about gaming, but it was gaming sales. It was like ad sales for esports, I think. And that guy, when he's being fired, they're like walking out with all their stuff. He takes his keyboard and his mouse or whatever from his computer and returns it to the IT guy and does like a bow. He goes like this. Like an Amazon warrior returning his bow. And then leaves. I thought that was the most Giga Chad thing I ever heard. Yeah, he said it. He said that. No, that's what I'm saying. That's the words he said. He said that. And I mean, obviously he's being a little, I don't think he was saying it 100% earnestly. But he was that kind of, no, Stans didn't do it. Stans saw this guy do it. So that guy's cool. I think this is GMR marketing. I need an IMDb list of movies like this. Margin Call, Wolf of Wall Street. I can rank them right now. Number 1 is probably Margin Call. Number 2 is probably Wall Street, the 80s version. Number 3 is Wolf of Wall Street. Number 4 is Boiler Room. Number 5 is the new Wolf of Wall Street with Shia LaBeouf, which was bad. Oh, Glengarry Glen Ross is actually S tier. I'm sorry, that's the number 1. American Psycho doesn't really count. It's not even a business movie. Actually, dude, give me. I wish I had a list. Big Short is also S tier, 100%. What about Saw 2? Saw 2 is not a business movie. There's a Shia LaBeouf Wolf of Wall Street. No, it's just Wall Street. It's called Wall Street Money Never Sleeps, starring Shia LaBeouf as the young son of the star of the first Wall Street, Martin Sheen. Was it Martin Sheen? No, it's not Martin Sheen. It's the other guy who's just like him. Michael Douglas. Yeah, Michael Douglas. Thank you very much. Thank you, Michael Douglas. Mikey Dougie. Top finance movies? Okay, wait. Top finance movies. Top finance movies. Okay, I've seen all of these movies. And yeah, Wall Street is up there, top tier. Well, this is the one I'm talking about. This one sucks. The Shia LaBeouf. This is such a fucking random bad movie. The only part of this movie I liked, there's only one part, is that they have this scene where he explains the Tulip Mania bubble. And I didn't really know about the Tulip Mania bubble. And once you learn about it, it's like so fascinating how a single tulip bulb was worth more than a house. Once I saw that, it was fucking sick. So I like that part. Everything else sucked. Money Monster is honestly terrible. It's like George Clooney pretending he is a fan of the working man. It's about like, he plays like Jim Cramer, you know? And he's like, buy this stock, sell this stock, buy this stock. And then someone loses a bunch of money on one of his bets and then holds him hostage. And he realizes, you know what? Maybe it is wrong to give stock advice. I don't know what average people are going through. It's so ham-fisted, bro. It's really bad. And George Clooney, I think, directed too. It's like he clearly thought he was spitting. He thought he was fucking. Enron movie is a documentary, so I wouldn't even count it, but it is a great movie. Inside Job. This is the one narrated by Matt Damon, I think. Yeah, it is.
Share prices continued to tumble.
Lehman Brothers was for
dreams.
Crap.
I'm not gonna show up, but this is fine. But it's annoying to me that every time a finance movie is made, it's about the 2007 housing crisis. Like so many finance movies are all about this one period, and it's all about real estate, and it's never about anything else. So I wish they would do that. Wizard of Lies. This is good. I like this movie, although I like the Netflix documentary more. It's about Bernie Madoff. I've never seen The Laundromat. I wonder if that's good. It's got Antonio Banderas and Meryl Streep. I've seen The China Hustle. Talked about Boiler Room just now. Company Men. How about Assault on Wall Street? Trading Places is low-key a fun movie. Trading Places is kind of a fun movie. It's about Eddie Murphy as a broke guy on Wall Street, like a homeless man. And I forget his name, this actor. I'm sorry, Ghostbusters guy. They get Freaky Friday'd, basically, to where Eddie Murphy becomes rich and Dan Aykroyd becomes poor. And I'm going to spoil it for you because it's from 1983, so it is literally like 40 years old. They, instead of hating each other, end up teaming up to defeat the two annoying Wall Street billionaires that have pit them against each other, that set the whole thing up. It was genius. It's a fun ending. It's like a good movie. Happy ending. It's got some finance stuff in there if you're slightly interested. This also looks good. The Price We Pay. But honestly, I have Google searched or whatever, like you take your remote and you do the voice search, and I search finance documentaries, and I watch like every one that comes out, and they don't make that many. It's just that they're not popular. I've paid money to listen to fucking finance documentaries, and they just don't make good ones. There's check pin. What's the pin? I found a tier list. Oh, interesting. Okay, quick tier list if you're going to watch. S. Dumb Money. I haven't seen. I'll put it in D if I haven't seen it. Wall Street is probably S. Moneyball, I love. A. The Founder, A. Wizard of Lies, B. Wolf of Wall Street, top of B, honestly. Maybe. Top of B. It's so long, and the Quaalude scene is too much. This is D. Actually, I'll save D for stuff I haven't seen. Money Monster, C. Pursuit of Happiness It's a fine movie, but as a finance movie, it's like a motivational movie. I'll put it in B. The thing about Pursuit of Happiness is it has this really annoying trope where if you can solve a Rubik's Cube, you must be a genius. And it's like in real life, people that can solve a Rubik's Cube fast are usually people that have just spent a lot of time wasting on Rubik's Cubes. It's not, it irks me. And so the movie's filled with like little tropes like that, you know? But I do cry at it. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a sweet movie. It's not an IQ test, bro. Same thing with chess in movies. Hustlers, haven't seen it. Too Big to Fail. This is Story of... I don't know if I've seen it. Actually, I know I have seen it, but I can't remember. It must have been very forgettable. Boiler Room, we talked about that. It's probably bottom of B. I haven't seen this. Margin Call, I like. Joy, I haven't seen. Haven't seen this. What is this? What is this movie? I haven't seen it. The Banker. I haven't seen it. Social Network. Dude, I'm going to be honest with you. I saw Social Network in freshman year of college, and it made me... Nothing has ever made me more of a Sigma grind set asshole than that movie. No. I haven't ranked it yet. I haven't ranked it yet. I think it's a great movie. I'm putting it higher. No movie in my life has ever hit at the right time to make me... I swear to God, this is a true story. We watched it with friends at a theater. I walked out. We were driving back in the car. They were all talking and laughing and joking. I was in the passenger seat in the front, dead silent. And in my head, I was thinking, why are we talking about stupid bullshit? Why are we talking about we're talking about stupid bullshit? Why are we not fucking hustling? This is all we do. We just drive around talking about stupid. Everyone's like, why are you being so quiet? And I was just like, no, it's cool. I was just thinking like, I need to be spending my time better. I've never been more Sigma than like the few months after I saw that video. I was like, dude, I gotta hustle. I need to be fucking. And then sophomore year, I discovered League of Legends. So that only lasted that year because after that, I got League of Legends and then everything fucking went to shit. But I've never been more of the stereotype. It's freshman year after I saw this movie. So I'll put it in A. I think Social Network's a very good movie. And it is very motivating in a grind set way. But I like these movies are actually good and you can learn something from. American Made, this is so forgettable. I saw this is like the one where he smuggles cocaine. It's not a finance movie at all, really. I mean, a little bit in the way that the financial flows go to the Contras, but it's not. I thought War Dogs is all right. I'll put it in B. Arbitrage. Don't remember it if I've seen it. What is this one? Is this the poker movie? I don't know this one. The Aviator is a good movie, but again, I wouldn't call it a finance movie. This movie's actually really good. The Steve Jobs movie, it is, I think, an accurate portrayal of actual Steve Jobs, but it is motivating and interesting. The entire movie is just 3 scenes. It's the Michael Fassbender. The entire movie is 3 scenes at different times of his life, 3 keynotes. It's very interesting. I've never seen a movie do it like that. The acting is very good, and it's completely not attached to the real life Steve Jobs, really, but on its own as a work of art, it's really good. Chef, what a random. Don't really. Oh, Thank You for Smoking is very good. Put that in A. Lord of War, I'll put that in A. I like that movie too. Jerry Maguire, I also love, but I'm going to put it in B. Ford vs. Ferrari is such a dad-coded movie. It's just such a dad-coded movie. Air, I'm only putting in B because it's about marketing managers. The greatest hero. Actually, I'll put it in S. The greatest heroes. The greatest heroes in the world. Marketing managers. I'll put it in. Tetris bangs so hard. Bro, I hate to be a downer. If someone comes with me and they're like, hey, watch this YouTube video, I love it, I always laugh. I don't go, sorry. If someone says this movie's great, I watch it and I go, yeah, it was awesome. Even if I don't necessarily love it. I hate being a downer. I don't think this movie bangs. I think this movie is super mid. Only because of Atrioc, I have to be honest. This movie's super mid, bro. And it's so fake. If you guys look up the real story, like they made up everything for this movie. It's like they added car chases that were not real. They added fake. It didn't. A good business movie should not add a fake car chase. The movie's crazy. To me, it's not what I want in a business movie at all. So I'm putting it in C. I'm sorry. You do learn a few interesting things that are kind of fun. The part where they negotiate with Nintendo is really fun, and that's based in reality. Catch Me If You Can is a banger movie. I'm just ranking these movies, I guess, even though I don't think they're finance movies at all. Catch Me If You Can is like only very loosely a finance movie, but it's a great movie. So, where's Blackberry? Dude, Blackberry is a great finance movie. At least recently. I would put Blackberry in top of B or A. House of Gucci, I liked. Very long. And really more about the meltdown of a family than... I also read the book of House of Gucci. It's very interesting. I mean, they truly imploded. It's so crazy that the Gucci brand is not owned by the Gucci family anymore because of how much they imploded over the money and the wealth that it brought them. I'll put in B. American Gangster. Bro, I fucking love Denzel being a badass. I'm actually such a simp. I'm such a Denzel simp, dude. I think this movie is... I can't even remember good parts of this movie. I just know that I like it, and I remember the part where he shoots the guy in the head on the fucking sidewalk. And I just like it. I like the energy. I think Denzel's a great fucking actor. I have to put it in A, and this movie's in A. That's the list. I think this is pretty good. If you're looking for a new finance movie to watch and you haven't seen any of these, I promise you they're all good. I promise you they're all worth watching. They're entertaining and interesting. And I stand by that. Have you seen Ascension? It's a documentary about the working class in China. I have not seen it. I did see a documentary about a Chinese company sets up a car window glass factory in America, and Chinese workers and American workers have to work together. It's a true story. It's a documentary about Chinese and American workers working together at a factory and learning the different ways. And it was fascinating. It was a fascinating documentary. I very much enjoyed that. I think Obama's production team was behind it. I don't think Obama himself did anything. I think it's the same thing with Spotify, where the Spotify paid Obama's a bunch of money to make podcasts, and then they just hired a production company to make podcasts, but none of the podcasts had any viewers unless Obama was on them. So it was like the biggest waste of money Spotify's ever done. That and the Royals, the Prince and Kate Middleton and the Prince. I forget the name. They paid them like Meghan Markle and the Prince. Spotify paid them like $1 billion, dude. It's just so much money to make, not $1 billion, but a lot of money to make podcasts. And only the podcasts that they were on had any listeners. But they made like a series of 10 different podcasts and they all flopped. It's crazy that Spotify thought that would work. Generational bag getters. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I feel like if you're talking about a royal family, they're like intergenerational bag getters. They've been getting bags since before our grandparents were born. You know what I'm saying? They're not just getting the bag now. They've been getting the bag for a long time. Rich people get given money for no reason. Nothing new. It is true that it's easier to get money when you have money. That is just a fact. That is a stone cold fact. It is just easier to get money when you have money. It is insane. R greater than G, as they say. Wouldn't it be similar to the Twitch kick strategy where the goal is to gain market share? Yes, that is their goal, but you don't gain any market share by making a podcast no one listens to. Do you understand? And spending a lot of money on that is actually, in a way, losing your company value. It's like this. Who's a big streamer? Who's a big streamer? Let's not say Kai, because he might be able to do this. Someone like XQC. XQC, perfect. XQC, a big streamer. Let's say Kick could pay $100 million for XQC, or they could pay $1 billion for XQC and 9 new streamers that he's going to develop. Okay? Do you understand? They go, oh yeah, well XQC knows what he's doing. He's a great streamer. So they pay him $1 billion, and then he streams on Kick, and then he also gets 9 people to start streams on Kick. Well, it turns out, though, nobody watches those. But they're picturing like, oh, he's going to make them all as big as he is. That's sort of what Spotify did with the Obama podcast and the Meghan Markle podcast. Was like, they had all these things that they were paying a lot of money for that had the name attached, but they didn't do anything. They didn't. Were Harry and Markle good podcasters to begin with? I think being a good podcaster is a skill, but you can also just be really famous. That also works. Fame makes you a better podcaster. People want to hear your mundane story. Because a podcast is so much dead air, you have to talk about whatever, right? You have to talk about a lot of things. And so they have to just be interested in that. And being famous makes whatever you're saying more interesting to more people. That's just how it works. So, like, they are fine as podcasters, but everything else they did was terrible. Everything they like, they're not good at finding podcast talent. Hey, Atrioc, curious how much value you think an MBA has in current day. I generally will tell you that paying a lot of money for a graduate degree, especially a business one, not like a hard sciences one, I am generally frowning upon because it's so expensive and takes a lot of debt. However, if you can do it while working, or you can get your company to pay for it, or anything like that, then sure, it's always worth it to learn more. But if you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just going to spend $150,000 to get a graduate degree, and then I'll figure it out, I would caution you, because that's a lot of fucking money. It's a lot of fucking money, and the debt, it doesn't seem like much when you're young and you're signing the thing, but it's like then you're like, oh shit, this sucks. Like having a lot of debt sucks. It's not fun. Nobody likes paying student loans forever and ever and ever. So that's what I'll tell you. Eamon won. I know, I heard. I'm a big happy for him. I like Eamon winning because he cares. He cares as much as a professional player. Eamon cares about every win and loss. He thinks about it. He stresses about it. He rages about it. He cares. And so for him to like work that hard and get wins is good. I feel good for him. Is it a good idea to bet money in the election? How can you get good odds, bro? If you're going to bet on Trump, it feels like you're like pennies in front of a steamroller. Trump is so favored. If you'd have done it before the debate, you could have got some money. But I think after the debate, it's like the betting odds are bad. You could bet on Biden dropping out, maybe. Still a chance of that, I guess, even though they're really locking in that he won't. If you can bet on Trump to win the Republican National Convention, that's like a guaranteed money. I don't see how he could ever lose that. So even though the odds are, you get almost nothing, it's like guaranteed. You could put as much. It's crazy because I thought the debate would change absolutely nobody's minds. I don't think people flipped. who were already picking. But I think honestly, I think the biggest effect is that it depresses one side. So much of American politics is about turnout. It's not even about switching other people's minds. It's about, we have millions of people on each side. Who can we get excited to show up? Otherwise, they don't turn out. That's like the past 2 elections have been about that. And so the debate was a turnout killer for the Democratic side because they just don't feel excited. Democrats are more, historically in American history, Democrats are more vulnerable to that. There's a saying that Democrats fall in love and Republicans fall in line, where like if you're not exciting for the Democratic ticket, people often just fucking if you can't, they just don't bother. They don't fucking bother. And so you like outside of the the 2020 we have to beat Trump. Like I don't think Biden was exciting to begin with, and then this was a really bad debate. What would happen to my credit card debt if the credit card company goes under? They might sell off your debt to somebody else as part of a bankruptcy fire sale. So I think you would still owe it. But I can't be 100% on that. It depends on how. It would depend. It would depend, bro. Yeah, interesting question. Can I bet on the company going down? You can bet on any public company going down. You just buy puts or you short the company. But it's risky. It's risky. Especially because naturally, major public companies in the S&P 500, they'll trickle up just naturally. First with the dollar overall devaluing, so everything will go up naturally. It's like prices rising. Things naturally go up. And then also there's a giant passive bid, which means like everybody in America or half people in America have 401k plans. And so a little bit of their paycheck buys the stock market every month, no matter what. Without good or bad, rain or shine, a little bit of that buys something every month. So as long as there are still more young people than old people, the things will trickle up. So unless we have a demographic crisis where there's a bunch of old people trying to pull money out of the 401ks, there's a passive bid. What's been going on Reddit? People acting like the debate was no big deal and you're a MAGA head if you think Biden did bad. That's not what I've seen on Reddit, but I'm sure there's different parts of Reddit. The general consensus is he did bad, obviously. He just looked really fucking frail and old. And people don't want their leader to be frail and old. Regardless, I mean, that's positions aside. That is a for some people a deal breaker, and for others it's like a real negative impact. But at least, I mean, at the very least, I will say he did. In all his appearances since, has not looked that bad. I mean, when I say that bad, I mean as bad as the debate. Like he's trying to show that was an aberration. It's just, how do I put this? When I used to play poker, there was a really good advice I read from a very, very good poker player. He said, you have your A game, your B game, and your C game. When you're on your A game, that means you're in your flow state. Everything's going good. You're playing great poker. It's amazing. You're making money. Then you have your B game, which is your day-to-day, your grind. This is what you're trying to get up. You practice to get your B game up. That's your day-to-day. And then your C game is when you're playing really bad, you're on tilt, and you're kind of losing money. You don't practice and grind and struggle and put your effort in to get your A game better. Your A game is generally already pretty good if you're a pro player. You need to get your floor up because you lose most of your money on the C game. That's to put this metaphor back into what I was talking about. Nobody running for president should have a C game that bad. If even on your bad days shouldn't be that bad. If your floor is that low, if you can't speak, if you can't, do you understand like that? That's the problem. It's not that is his every day. He has had better days. He's had better days since. But his C game is scary to people. And they have a right to be scared. Your president is having, I mean, really bad days. Like, just can't finish a sentence. that's how I'm putting it. So, but that being said, like, we have two bad options. I'm not like a secret that I'm voting for Biden in this situation because I like the people around him. I like Lena Khan. I like the FTC. I like the people he's appointed. I don't want to get like fucking Betsy Davos, and I don't want more fucking Republican Supreme Court justices, and I don't want Rex Tillerson as Secretary of Energy. I don't want all the people that Trump appoints. Trump is a better poster and he's funnier. But I think government is more than the president, and I don't like the people he picks for positions. I would love Biden to step down. Okay, so that brings me to my next point. My big topic for today. Did you guys see that Mr. Beast, we've joked about this like 40 times, and then Mr. Beast tweeted today, if we lower the age to president, I'll jump in the race, and got 417,000 likes. Go to his reply. I think he's been fucking replies. He's talking about how cool his Feastables bar right afterward. His next tweet. He makes a serious case that he's going to run for president, and then his next tweet is talking about how cool his Feastables bars are. Dude, this is so idiocracy coded. How old is he? He could not be president for another like 12 years. He is 12 years from being, I think, 35, which is when he would be. So he can't actually be president. And I don't think they're going to lower the age. So the real question of this is not that could he win. He could and would, I think. I legitimately think Mr. Beast could and would win an election, especially with these fucking candidates. However, the real question is, will Mr. Beast be popular in 12 years? That's the question. Oh, is it 9 years? In 9 years. I'm sorry, in 9 years. That's the question. 9 years is a long time, bro. %, he will look at PewDiePie. Totally possible. I am of the opinion that he could easily be. He's not slowing down. He's got that 100 million Amazon show. He's got things coming. It feels like he's ahead of the game. I don't see, barring a scandal, he could do it. But I'm just saying 9 years is a long time. There's gonna be a lot of new stuff. Do you know? 9 years is crazy. You guys know Twitch as a whole, like, barely existed 9 years ago. 2013 is like the earliest days of Twitch. That's like the beginning. And then you get Mayanites, and you get Jericho, and you get Reynad, and you get Hearthstone era, and you get everything, all that stuff. Oh, that's 2015, right? I was doing 11 years. But Atrioc knows about Mayonite. Bro, I worked at Twitch when Mayonite happened. We did marketing. Mayonite was one of the biggest drivers of viewership, so we promoted the shit out of it. Syndicate, yeah. Tom, I know all those people from back then. I met them, dude. I met Gold Glove. People... There is this dude. I'm going to tell you another Twitch story. I think I've told this story vaguely, but let me make it concrete. There was an older guy, a guy who was probably his mid-40s, who worked at Twitch. And he was kind of an asshole to me because we played an after-work poker game, and I basically called him Unk. Whatever the equivalent of Unk was at the time. I just basically called him old. I was like, bro, you don't fucking... You're old as shit, bro. And so this guy was mad at me. I was just joking. I was like 21 years old. But I made a joke at a poker game, and he like did a little smile, but then was never nice to me again, which is kind of fucked up. It's a vicious cycle. I can take a joke, obviously, even though I'm not old. And so I call him old, and he called me the ugly Gold Glove for like fucking 4 years. Okay? Because I would go to these Twitch parties and I met Gold Glove. And we were like, it was like me and Gold Glove at a fucking, at a bar. We were hanging out. We were clinking glasses. We were talking. He was super nice. He recognized me from Twitch Weekly, which is a show I did. I was like, that was awesome. Like, dude, you're the biggest streamer on Twitch, or one of the biggest. And then he saw us both and he goes, hey, you're kind of like the ugly one. I was like, dude, what the fuck? And then he kept saying it at work for fucking a long time. It was kind of fucked up. It was fucked up. If you guys don't know, this is Gold Glove. This is Gold Glove. Oh no. He's mogging me still. I'm getting mogged to this day. I'm getting mogged. To this day, I'm getting mogged. In 2024, it's been fucking so many years and I'm still getting mogged. But he was like one of the biggest streamers in early Twitch. So how about that? How about that, huh? We're all learning something today. Have you heard of Jericho? Yeah, I've met Jericho. We did a marketing thing where we had Jericho on one of those mechanical bulls, and he got thrown off and he hit the wall really hard, and we thought we were gonna get sued. It was for pizza rolls. I remember this. It was for fucking Totino's pizza rolls, and we put him on a mechanical bull. I wonder if I can find this. Oh yeah, it was a couch. Yeah, yeah. Here it is. I can't find the image, but I can find the GIF. Right here. I'm like off camera for yeah. He hits the wall fucking hard, dude. He hits the wall fucking hard. Hit his back crack. I was like, oh shit, we're fucked. We're fucked on this one. This is a bad idea. Have you met Jimmy Beast? I have not met Jimmy Beast. Not met Jimmy Beast. The GOAT, the YouTube GOAT. But when I'm his vice president, we'll meet for sure. We're going to meet in the Oval Office. Big guy, I work in digital marketing. I'm looking for moving into middle management for the first time. Any suggestions for career advancement? I think it's fucked in America. And this is a thing more in America. Where like the only way to rise up in some corporate structures is to become a manager. You can't just be really good at what you do. You have to stop doing that thing and manage people. It's the only way to move up in a lot of companies. And it's kind of messed up. Because managing is an entirely different skill. It's almost unrelated. Knowing how the job works is a little bit of it at the beginning, but really it's an entirely different skill. And you have to like it. You have to like people. You have to like hearing their problems. You have to like take an interest in, like, to be a good manager, you should take an interest in their lives. It's like it takes a certain level of empathy and it's a whole thing. I had a great manager in NVIDIA who was teaching me. And one thing I noticed that made him so good was that he cared. I was like, oh, that's hard. He cared so much about people's lives and stuff out of work. And like it was almost like a service job for him. And so he was great, but it's tough. It's tough. And so if you're not excited about it, it's going to be kind of shitty. But what I would say is like, if it's something you think you could learn, doing it sooner rather than later is good because you're going to hit a wall. For most jobs, you're going to hit a wall where if you don't want to manage, you can't go up anymore. So if you're interested in moving up, learn management as early as you can. Ask people questions. Try to get good. Show that you're interested in it. Robert Stacks on Soft. Thank you for the 20 gifted. Goddamn, sorry I missed it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Long time support. Appreciate it. What party would Mr. Beast run for? Bro, we've had this conversation like 10 times. I'm taking full credit. I have on this stream and on clips and on video said many times that we're going to have an eventual break of the two-party system, and it's going to be because of YouTubers. It's going to happen. It's going to be from content creators. Content creators are the one thing that's going to break the monopoly system of the two-party system because they are finally getting too big to manage. It's not good for the country, by the way. But content creators are going to shake up the political system, and they're going to start making new parties and systems because they are finally too big. They have too much of an audience that can't, you don't have to filter it through CNN or whatever. They literally have such a direct to audience power. It's happening. And Mr. Beast tweeting about I'll be president. Mr. Beast tweeted not only that, sorry, I didn't get to finish his tweets. Let me show you one more thing on Mr. Beast's tweets, bro. He said this guy was talking to Dwarkesh Patel, who's an interviewer that I've recommended before, and said, just bet, Dwarkesh, that Mr. Beast will become president of the United States within 3 valid elections after he turns 35. 25-1 payout when I win. And then Mr. Beast says, can I take that bet? Like, Mr. Beast is not, he's, we're acting like it's so crazy. It could never happen that a dude who reaches 100 million people a week could, and has a clean public image, couldn't fucking push for presidency. It's not crazy. And the content creators are only going to get bigger. We have to understand, another thing that ties this story together. When I was working at Twitch, the biggest creators in the world, Gold Glove and Jericho and Mayanite, these people had like between 3K and 10K viewers. And 10K would be crazy. They were the biggest. They were like amazingly huge. If Kai Cenat woke up with 10K viewers, he'd kill himself. You know how nowadays Kai goes live to 300K sometimes. It's the level of their reach is only getting bigger with time. The scale keeps getting bigger. Mr. Beast gets 100 million. Do you know how, remember, I don't know, Ryan Higa or whatever, what views did they get comparatively? It's nothing. But they were the biggest. It keeps getting bigger. The next Mr. Beast is going to be bigger than him. And these people are going to have the power to do, to move politics. So that's what I'm saying. It's like that is the world we are entering in, where the permissionless aspect of content creation and the permissionless owning your audience is going to give people weird powers they didn't have. And it's going to break down some systems that we thought were untouchable, like the two-party system. I believe this. Kai streams frequently to more people that can fit in the largest stadium in the world. That's crazy. It's crazy. First VTuber president before female president. Hillary Clinton runs again, but as a VTuber. Holy shit. Holy shit. How long until we get a president doing OnlyFans? I don't think that's very likely, but it would make them money for sure. It's such a direct form of communication that people attach themselves in a way. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're all going to be. I'm saying it's gonna the same way that you would have thought the chocolate market was untouchable until Mr. Beast started to show cracks in 100-year monopoly. It's just the power of having that big of an audience and not having to go through established channels changes things. It changes paradigms that have been in place for a long time. The way TikTok has changed the music business to where, like, you don't need to go find a fucking A&R rep and get scouted and signed. You just get to go viral on TikTok. Once you do that, then you have the leverage, and then the labels want you. It's just different. It's the way the internet has changed the power of middlemen. Would you vote for Mr. Beast? No, I wouldn't vote. I mean, I will never say never. In 9 years, he could become an entirely different person, and he clearly has incredible skill at what he does. But I don't know that he's 23. He's a 23-year-old whose entire life is devoted to making compelling mass market YouTube videos. I don't believe that is the proper skill that I'd want. A TikTok president? 50 State Squid Game would be a fire video. I mean, it would be so funny to see the State of the Union delivered on YouTube with a like and subscribe. I think it'd be so funny, dude. It would be such a world. But yeah. Like, listen, I don't think it. Obviously, I've said this before. My dream president is someone you've never fucking heard of, who's had a quiet, long career in public service. You know, just a stand-up person with like 30 years of public service, who knows how the government works, knows the functions, is able to work with different parties. But like, that's so unlikely. It's so unlikely because what I've realized is that it takes a psychopath to want to run for president. It takes someone who is willing to have their entire personal life blown up. You have to be a little bit. This is like a thing that hit me. It's like a regular person wouldn't want the job. They don't, it's going to make their family life harder. They have to be a little bit psychopathic. And that's the best you can hope for, is that they're a little bit. You gotta be a narcissist? Well, streamers will fucking crush then. Dude. Ludwig's gonna be a fire president, bro. Ludwig's gonna be a fire president. I swear to God. It's also, here's the other part, is like, to be president, you almost have to lie because people do not want to hear the truth. That's another thing I'm realizing is like, neither party can tell the entire truth because people don't want to hear it. And if you tell it to them, you will lose. So only someone who can confidently lie to the public can win, which is tough. It's a tough situation to be in. People, and you can never, ever, ever promise. You can never say like, this is going to be short-term pain for long-term gain. Neither candidate in any elections I've seen has been like, hey, I'm going to do this. It's going to suck, but it'll be better for us longer term. Nobody will do this. Everyone will say, my policies are going to fix things immediately, and they're great, and they're perfect, and there's no trade-off, and we're going to have this and this. It's always both. Nobody will ever say like, hey, this part's going to suck, and this part's going to be better. Malay in Argentina is doing it? Yes, exactly. But he is only able to do this by first, number one, being a psychopath. A literal chainsaw-wielding psychopath. And number two, after decades of inflation and disaster and corruption, and the people are so desperate, they're finally like, okay, fine. But we're not there yet. America hasn't got there yet, and so we won't accept it. America will not accept short-term pain yet. We have to have like we have to go through more disaster for us to be like, okay. It's like America would never have voted for FDR and the New Deal and all of that unless we had the Great Depression. That's the problem. FDR only got a chance to do what he did because we had so much disaster. They were like, fine, we'll try your crazy fucking ideas. So it's just a weird reality of the world where people won't accept it until they're forced to. America's a child. In a way. I love my country, by the way. I'm a proud patriot. So I want you to know that. I just like to make fun of it as well. Atrioc, have you... Yeah, I talked about the guy that got elected. The YouTuber that got elected. Polymatter vid on Russia's classic population. I'm not going to watch this, but interesting. I do think that Russia has sent a lot of men into the meat grinder and has bad demographics like everywhere else. So there's probably a lot of truth to this, but I don't want to watch the full vid right now. Although actually, we're gonna do Get Smarter Saturday here in a second. We could watch it. We could watch it. What time is it? It's 9:12. Yeah, fuck it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the part of the show where we do Get Smarter Saturdays, a age-old tradition on this stream where we watch YouTube videos together to wrinkle our brains. The best way to consume knowledge is with Twitch chat on the side as you watch YouTube videos passively. It's the greatest way to increase your knowledge. And so that's what we're going to do right now. And you can submit the YouTube videos, and we pick them. There are only 3 rules. The first rule is it can't be too long because people submit monopolizing videos that take 2 hours long. No, we want shorter videos. Ideally, 20 minutes or less. That's the dream. Then it can't be too boring. We can't videos that are too boring so people don't get hooked in and learn something. And then the third thing, and the most important rule, is that by the end of the video, we have to have learned something. So if it's not long, not boring, and we learn something. These powers combined make for a great Get Smarter Saturdays. And if you have a video, please post it in chat. I'm going to open up the Get Smarter Saturday website and start looking at all your videos. Please post them now. How Britain became a poor country. Did Discord just make scamming easier? Why MLB banned dwarfs from baseball? That doesn't seem very good. The poverty tax, state lotteries. Bro, can I just say this? We all know that you're not going to win the lottery and that when you pay it, it is like basically a tax. And if you know any math, you know it's not good. But like, come on. I don't like these kind of videos because they're just like, don't they get it? Don't they know math? It's like, bro, they do, all right? But people are buying a little slice of hope. And that's worth more. The psychic value is worth more. Hi, Maisie. Please unhighlight the page. I won't because it's the only way to read it. So, financial nihilism? What the fuck? I was going to make this video. Patrick Boyle! I was literally going to make a video called Financial Nihilism. I've been working on it. Is this recent? Patrick fucking Boyle, dude. He scooped me 3 weeks ago. Piss. It only has 250k views though. I think I could beat it. I think I could beat it. Bro, I talked about financial nihilism in the first GME thing, the first GME video, which is before this video. Do the dates. Do the dates. I talked about it. It comes from this. It actually comes from a crypto guy, which is crazy. There's this incredible article. I'm already doing my script. I'm doing my script right now. I'm doing my script bar for bar. It comes from this article by this guy who writes about crypto. And he basically said, like, hey, I've been in crypto for a while. I'm making money. I get it. I understand. However, as I look around and see people investing in all this crap, I'm doing it for money, but I'm noticing that they're doing it out of desperation. They're basically doing it out of like a last gasp. They have to win 100x. They're doing sports gambling. They're doing parlays. They're doing finance. This is like, man, I should do this video. I'm going to fucking do it anyway. I just need a different title. I can't believe he yoinked me. That's crazy. All right, I'm looking at. Let's see. Let's get more stuff to watch. Microwave impregnator Nunu. I don't want to watch this. How road barriers stopped killing drivers. Exposing false advertising food edition. That's interesting. The consumerist dystopia of Harry Potter. I can't start with that. And I actually can't watch that today, but I know that I'm interested. Know that as a millennial, I'm interested. As a millennial who loves econ, I'm interested. Damn. Oh, new Casually Explained. Bitcoin. Let's watch this.
This video is sponsored by Incogni. Now, as someone who doesn't get very emotionally attached to a financial investment, shoutouts to my future children, I think the best way to introduce Bitcoin is with a quote from Sun Tzu's famous blog post, The Art of War, where he said, "I fear not the man who's read 1,000 crypto white papers, I fear the man who's read one crypto white paper 1,000 times. Because if you go on crypto Twitter, God forbid, there's no more common way to dismiss Bitcoin skeptics than simply saying, do the work." So a few years ago, that led me to set aside a day to really dive into and study the Bitcoin.
The two things they say are do the work, which is like go read fucking stupid ass crypto white papers, or have fun staying poor, not gonna make it. That's the only any criticism of anything crypto is always hit with the have fun staying poor, or they'll be like, yeah, we're not gonna make it. Or they'll be like, sounds like someone who missed the boat. Sounds like someone who could have bought crypto cheaper and didn't and is sad about it. There's never any open idea for like, hey, this is kind of crazy. Can we be critical of this? It's always like, you must be so emotionally distressed that you didn't make money on crypto. It's frustrating. You cannot have a real conversation with anyone.
White paper. One morning I sat down, had way too much coffee, which for me is one, opened the PDF and started reading. After just 5 minutes, I sat back and thought, wow. Because there wasn't any more pages. Not knocking the content, but if anyone tells you they did the work, just know what they meant was they read a pamphlet. In brief, the reason the Bitcoin network was innovative was because in 2008, anonymous chess grandmaster Satoshi Nakamoto proposed a solution to a problem that had been plaguing digital currencies for decades, which is if I want to buy 2 large pizzas from Papa John's, but I have no cash to do it, how do I send the money digitally without a financial institution having to verify the transaction between us? 2 years later, this transaction was successfully performed, although at today's Bitcoin price, those 2 pizzas cost about $615 million, about the same as the entirety of Papa John's market cap at the time. While at first glance it seems like a fairly practical problem to solve, it doesn't really
I also want to, but if you don't know the story, I was in a Team Liquid StarCraft community tournament back in like 2010, and I got, I don't know, 12th place. The 3rd and 4th place prize was like 500 Bitcoin. First place was like $200. Second place was like $100. And 3rd and 4th place was like 500 Bitcoin each. So the people that got 3rd and 4th place technically got the largest prize pool in esports history. This is 100% real. I bet we can find it. Team Liquid. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Sorry, I was wrong with the places. It was 5th through 8, and it was only 25. I mean, this actually could not be. This could be a different one. This is a different Team Liquid tournament, but whatever. Because this is CS:GO. I think it's a different one. But anyway, it was like they were using Bitcoin for prizes back then. I think this was higher for the StarCraft one. The idea was people that got the worst place, if they held on to it, made life-changing money. And the people that got the first place got basically nothing. What year was this? 2010, I think. That's the year I would be into it. 25 Bitcoin is still a lot. It's like times 50K. It's a lot, but I think it was more. I distinctly recall the StarCraft one being more. How many Bitcoin exist that no one owns? I don't know. Tough to say. There's definitely got to be some storage out there that's like just fucking dead.
Explain why the price has gone up over 500 million% while I didn't have any. Bitcoin maximalists say that Bitcoin has gone up so much because one day it'll become the new global reserve currency, replacing all fiat on Earth and be worth tens of millions a coin. But then there's a whole other group of Bitcoin skeptics that say it's a scam and all going to zero. First of all, it's not possible for Bitcoin to go to zero because a guy on Reddit said he'd buy all 21 million for 1 cent each. There's also no way it can go to tens of millions a coin because that would put its evaluation at about $400 trillion. This doesn't make any sense because the Bitcoin network doesn't even sell AI graphics cards. Now that we know the proper price of Bitcoin is somewhere between 1 cent and $10 million, how do we know which direction it's going to go? If you look at what the experts say, legendary investor Charlie Munger called Bitcoin rat poison, which is clearly bearish. But if you take Michael Saylor, chairman of the Bitcoin options trading vehicle MicroStrategy, he'll tell you, Bitcoin is a swarm of cyber hornets serving the goddess of wisdom, feeding on the fire of truth, exponentially growing ever smarter, faster, and stronger behind a wall of encrypted energy. Which I think is bullish, but I might have to ask my shaman. I would also like to add that I didn't edit anything here. This is literally his Twitter profile. The problem I've found is that if you ask anyone who's into crypto why Bitcoin has value, the most common response is, it's digital gold. The obvious follow-up is, why does gold have value? Which then usually devolves into because it's scarce and because people have valued it since the dawn of humanity. And while that's a great explanation for OnlyFans, this is the economic equivalent of saying it's a good store of value because it is. On the other side, people from traditional finance often make the argument that a digital asset isn't real, so you can create an infinite amount of them, and therefore they have no value. This isn't a very good argument because if digital assets have no value, how can the founders of nearly every crypto project rug pull the whole thing to buy yachts? Now, while you shouldn't evaluate the effectiveness of a technology based on the character of people who believe in it, I certainly do anyway. And Bitcoin in particular has a strong bias towards anti-government sentiment and libertarianism. If you're not sure what that means, imagine if the government were to say, because you didn't pay your fair share, 150 people died today from an underfunded government program. This kind of thing would really rattle a libertarian because they know that their taxes would have helped the government to get at least a dozen more. Even looking at the types of people within traditional finance versus crypto, while there are some who really get it, you get the feeling that most of the people in decentralized finance aren't familiar with how the existing financial system currently works, causing them to often reinvent the wheel and run into the same mistakes that have already happened before. Take Sam Bankman-Fried and the collapse of FTX.
My God!
Everyone in crypto was like, I mean, there was no oversight or transparency. Everyone knew it was possible. They're just making everything up. We just didn't think they'd do that. And that made traditional finance say, what? But what they were doing was illegal. Didn't you learn anything from 2008? And unfortunately not, because they were 12. For this reason, a big threat to the crypto industry has been regulation. Because there isn't any. You can go on Binance, buy 75 times levered Dogecoin futures without a single confirmation window, and in 25 seconds you'll either make 3 times your money or lose everything. Which, let's be honest, is pretty fucking awesome. Well, this has begun changing a lot in the last few years after so many people were losing all their money repeatedly. There is a lot of environmental criticism brought towards crypto because the process of mining new Bitcoin is extremely energy intensive, as the process is done by brute forcing math problems with a huge amount of compute. Bitcoin mining was actually
That's
banned
good.
in China because the government decided the amount of energy being expended to solve arbitrary math problems was excessively wasteful, and it would be much more productive to use those children for something else. Generally speaking, the single biggest concern of most people is Bitcoin's price, because even though it doesn't produce anything in the literal sense, from the time you could easily publicly buy it as a speculator, it is one of the best performing assets of all time. Critics will argue that saying Bitcoin is the best performing asset of all time is like saying a winning $2 Powerball ticket is the best performing asset of all time. But if you bought a winning lottery ticket, you would gladly look that person dead in the eye and say, correct. There are two popular theories of pricing Bitcoin that are thrown around enough to be worth considering. The first common theory is it'll take at least half the market cap from gold because they serve similar monetary purposes, which would put them both at around an $8.4 trillion market cap at today's prices, or $420K a coin. This makes a lot of sense because the biggest Bitcoin bull I personally know is the 76-year-old guy who owns the penthouse in my apartment complex, who may or may not be the Baron from Dune. He owns a commercial weed farm, and while weed stocks aren't doing so well, the man needs a new backsplash for his kitchen. The second common price theory is the use of a stock-to-flow model created by Twitter user Plan B. And while I'm absolutely strawmanning this, a stock-to-flow model is like saying if you have 100 food and 100 hungry people, what happens to price when you have 50 food and 100 hungry people? The pattern then checks out in real life down to 10 food, so logically you can just keep extrapolating to predict if you have 1 crumb and 100 hungry people, how much higher would the price be for half a crumb instead? Using this model, it currently predicts the price of Bitcoin in 2030 will be $14 million a coin, which is so far beyond even the AI chip theory that the only explanation is that Cathie Wood is about to bless us with a new saga of her shonen manga. What's interesting at this point is that with the creation of Bitcoin ETFs, regulatory oversight emerging but giving the green light, and so much money from traditional finance pouring into the crypto ecosystem, purists look at their ascending token portfolio with glee, as it seems like it's blue skies ahead for prices to climb even further. But some people have started to point out that as time has marched on, every day their favorite crypto assets trade more and more in lockstep with traditional financial assets, and ownership has become more and more concentrated on centralized exchanges and mainstream financial products. Even 5 years ago, the whole space was about disrupting traditional finance, but now it's about cheering on any product that lets you get exposure to the network without being part of it, in the hope it drives the price higher. Just like in Oppenheimer, it's caused some people to dim the lights, adorn their trilby, and recite with scorn, "He who fights with monsters should be careful, lest he thereby become a monster." Causing everyone else to say, bro, I just want to be able to afford a house one day, can you please chill the fuck out?
That's
in
what
my
it's
view
all
so
about.
far, despite a lot of people telling me they've done the work, much like the Bitcoin blockchain, I'm still looking for proof. And personally, I haven't been able to find anyone who I think really has a convincing argument for the future of the technology or the price, and it's pretty much hopes, dreams, and speculation.
So the same guy that wrote the financial nihilism original piece that I talked about, he also wrote a piece that was called, let me see if I can find it. I'm sorry. It's like in defense of the fact that none of this shit actually does anything or ever will. And it's basically saying, I'm not kidding. It's like basically saying, hey, I want to invest in crypto. I don't care. I don't believe that it's actually going to do anything. I just know it's going to make me money. People are going to buy it. I'm going to buy it too. I'm going to make money. I want to stop pretending this is going to change the world. It's so funny. Let me see. Yeah, this is it. A lack of pretense that any of this shit does anything or ever will do anything. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, he's basically saying, I think, gambling's going up. Lotteries are going up. Crypto's going to go up. I'm going to make money on it. I don't think it's real. It's shitcoin. It's just such a funny, it's like when I read this, I was like kind of on his side because I was like, bro, if you're just honest, I can't be mad at you. I can't be mad at you. When you try to tell me that it's gonna fucking change the world or whatever, it's annoying, but yeah, that was interesting. We watch this. We'll watch this, and then we get another video. Non-finance video next one. Get a non-finance video.
Speculation all around. That is except for one person, a Bitcoin Talk Forum member from 2013 named GameCube, who during a huge sell-off titled the thread, "I am hodling," where he went on to say, "I typed that title twice because I knew it was wrong the first time. Still wrong. Whatever. Girlfriend's out at a lesbian bar. BTC crashing. Why am I holding? I'll tell you why. It's because I'm a bad trader, and I know I'm a bad trader. And you traders, you good traders can spot the highs and the lows, pit pat piffy wing wong wang just like that and make $1 million bucks? Sure. No problem, bro. I should have sold moments before every sell and bought moments before every buy. But you know what? Not everybody's as cool as you. The people in between hold. You only sell in a bear market if you're a good day trader or an illusion noob. In zero-sum games such as this, traders can only take your money if you sell." So I've had some whiskey. Actually, on the bottle, it's spelled whiskey. He then passed out, not realizing the profundity of his own words, because everyone had recognized the hodler in themselves too. To me, GameCube is a man who finally cracked the code on not just Bitcoin, but life in general.
Yeah.
You can't make a bad decision if you never decide. You can't have a regret if things could never be different. And of course, what I've now adopted as my golden rule, your girlfriend can't leave you for another man if she's cheating on you with a woman. Now, unlike your girlfriend leaving you, one thing you can't solve by just saying no is data brokers getting their hands on your information, who then turn around and
Incogni. Check it out. You can use code casually, Incogni, a browser that'll get your personal data back on track. Incogni.com/casually. Casually. Okay. Let's get a non-finance video for the folks at home. Every place America has bombed. What if forks were made of salt? Protein is not protein. What does that mean? The modern day Socrates and its 16 minutes of Northern Lion. Librarian, there's 16-minute video highlights now. Food would be even saltier. True. Why Western designs fail in developing countries. I'm looking for something a little shorter, a little punchier. Something we're going to laugh at, but also learn from. How Hitman Speedrunners killed Conor McGregor. Whoa. Number 22 on trending today? The addiction that destroyed Drake's career. I assume it was the pedophilia. I don't think it was like drugs. Although he does have, I don't know if it's this, but people are saying it's Ozempic face because his face looks all sunken in. I saw a recent photo. It could just be like stress, but he definitely looks off. Britain is a dump. Fuck it. Should we do it? Or we do something funnier in the middle, and then we go, Britain is a dump. I want to watch Britain is a dump. I've been meaning to watch it. It seems good. They just had their elections. This is a good timing. They've had a lost decade. But let's see if we can get one more, and then we'll do Britain as a dump. Marketing a game to success could be interesting. Oh, there was a game dev video that Ista wanted me to watch. We could do that. Canada is Russia's biggest threat. All right, let's do the UK video. Let's do Britain is a dump. Oi, bruv. Fuck! It's an hour 25. You screwed me. You screwed me. No, we can't do this, dude. You fucking screwed me. You baited me. Bro, why do I always get baited? I think it's 25. I'm like, you know what? That sounds good. We could do that. A nice 25. And you add a full hour. No, it's too long, bro. It's too long. We can't do it's not fair to other videoers. It's not fair. It's the one rule of Get Smarter Saturdays. It can't be too long. It dominates the whole night, bro. Wait, what about that other British video? That was a lot shorter, right? What about how Britain became a poor country by Tom Nicholas? Or what if we just watch one chapter and see how we feel? Let's watch one chapter. We're going to watch the typo that ruined a country, and we're going to see how we feel. And then we'll split off something else. Okay? We're going to watch a chapter. The typo that ruined a country.
Have you noticed how empty everywhere is these days?
I guess.
Britain is quickly becoming a nation of nothing. A recent Cambridge University report finds the availability of parks, cinemas, train stations, public transport, GP practices, hospitals, mental health care, police stations, banks, cash machines, post offices, education facilities, theatres, swimming pools, museums, shopping centres, chemists, pubs and gyms have declined across almost all English areas since 2014.
What do you do then?
Under the Conservatives, funding for local government has been cut by over half since 2010.
Pubs?
With such stringy finances, councils have had to be very frugal with their limited budget, selling off billions worth of public assets just to make ends meet, and raising council tax higher and higher to pay for worse and worse services. And even then, many councils are going into debt just providing basic functions. This is part of a wider economic policy pursued by the Conservatives over the past 14 years, one that was intended to bring down government debt. Cuts to education to the tune of £10 billion, taking 14% from the most deprived.
Have you ever, can I ask this question honestly? I'm not super familiar with UK politics. Does either Labour or the Tories suggest raising taxes on the wealthy? Is that even on the table? Okay. Because that is I am not as anti-austerity as everybody. I think there's a time and place for certain government programs being cut or trimmed. Like FDR did it. Sometimes government spending gets out of hand. But without done, you have to do it at the same time as you raise taxes on the wealthy. Otherwise, it's just even more vicious cycle. It's an even more vicious cycle because it's still underfunded. You don't have enough money, and all the money's getting siphoned off by the wealthy. FDR massively expanded spending? No. FDR cut cut military spending. FDR cut government paycheck, like employee paychecks. FDR spent a lot of money on public works projects, sure, but he cut spending on many things. Many things. He basically made choices. He does what politicians are so loath to do, which is instead of promising both and giving you neither, he made choices. He cut some things to do other things, and he raised taxes to pay for the things he wanted to do. That's why he's my GOAT. That alone is why FDR is my GOAT, because he literally made choices. He made trade-offs. He said we can't have this, but we can have this. He didn't just promise both, go into debt for both. You get neither. That is why he's my GOAT.
Schools, £5,000 less per pupil. Youth services down by a third. Environment down 20%. housing down by a half and infrastructure down 55%, road repairs down 40%. 600 million slashed from yearly cultural spending. That probably doesn't sound like much, but 10 years down the line, the last 5 UK Christmas #1s have been a series of novelty songs about sausage rolls. In this frenzy of balancing budgets, the Tories seemingly forgot that there were people on the...
Are you telling me that the Atrioc community has more culture than the UK? That we have more regularly produced high quality albums? Interesting. Even ones about sausage rolls, probably.
On the other side of those spreadsheets, and soon society began to quite literally collapse in on itself. St Mary's Hospital in London has rotting floors, flooding, collapsing ceilings and sewage spilling out of the drains onto the outpatient ward. But St Mary's Hospital doesn't qualify for urgent investment to repair these issues, because there are at least 5 other hospitals in worse condition, and there isn't enough money to repair them all. One hospital in Cambridge is so dilapidated that it is
Yeah, I mean, it's just so fucked because I feel like I'm turning into fucking Karl Marx. It's this country has done it in the past with a capitalist economy. They've taxed rich people. It's not that crazy. It's not that fucking crazy. You can do it. You can pay for your things by taxing rich people. It's not that crazy. They've done it in this country, and the money is there. It's the 6th wealthiest country in the world. They can afford to run hospitals. They've done it in the past. That's what I'm saying. They've done it. It's not like, oh, it's never been done. We'd have to have a fucking... It's been done. You just have to tax rich people. It's not that crazy. It's just so possible. UK taxes are already extremely high. Not on the ultra wealthy. Not on the ultra wealthy, dude. Yes, they have high taxes on regular people. But the ultra wealthy get out of all of it. And they used to be way higher. There's a lot of gig tax. Yeah, there's insane tax evasion. Close loopholes. Make it simpler.
Safe to treat overweight patients on the upper floors because the structure could give way at any moment. There are schools that are only avoiding bankruptcy because every time the ceiling collapses, they get an apology payment from the company that was contracted to build the school. Some areas were exempt from budget.
That's fucking funny. So, like, if you're a teacher and you need to make sure there's enough money for your salary, you have to kind of encourage the bad kid in class to fucking chuck rocks at the ceiling. You're like, hey, come on, Timmy. Don't worry about it. I'm not looking. Because he needs to break it, because then that's how you have to insurance fraud your way into...
cuts, like benefit payments, for example. So the goal became to get as many people off benefits as possible, and some of the ways they tried to do this are downright cruel. People on housing benefits who have a spare bedroom in their house could be forced to pay a penalty. This would encourage them to move to a smaller house, thus reducing the overall amount of benefits that need to be paid. But some people need a spare bedroom in their house to store medical equipment, because 2/3 of the penalty payers were disabled. This was a tax on low-income disabled people, and hundreds of thousands...
Oh, that's healthy. That's what I'm talking about. People say we already have high taxes. Yeah, they have high regressive taxes on the poor and the middle class. But that is the opposite effect, because those people already spend all their money. Like, every dollar they get, they will spend. So it's good for the economy. I'm even pro removing income tax on people under like 70K USD, because everyone under that amount, 75, whatever it is, we'll pick a number, but people under that amount spend all their money. So it is good for the GDP, good for the economy, it's good for everything. They will spend it. It's only when you get to the highest brackets where they hoard and they hoard and they hoard and they hoard, and then the money begets more money and they get a bigger and bigger slice of the pie, and it's unstoppable roller coaster. That is where you have to tax them, otherwise it is out of control. it's just, it's so funny to me because I feel like I have to constantly say that we've already done this. It makes me feel like I'm not like a fucking, I don't know. I'm not reading the manifesto here, bro. This is like a thing that's happened in both of these countries, in America and Britain, and it worked to great effect. Pre-Reagan, we did this. In every society worked fine. McDonald's ran. You know what I'm saying? People started McDonald's when we had high tax on the rich. Everything that you think of as like hyper-capitalist all happened in this environment. And people are acting like it's impossible. I don't know. I've had this speech before, but it boggles my mind. I think people have been so psyoped into thinking that like this is not a choice that's possible to us, that we can't have like I don't know.
Thousands fell into poverty as a result. How much did this policy save? After 2 years, 390 million. Not even 1 day of health service funding. Estimates for the number of people killed by strict welfare policies run into the tens of thousands. The Conservatives have created one of the most frugal governments in the developed world and contributed to the longest and deepest period of wage losses since the Napoleonic Wars. The last 14 years of Conservative...
Dude, what's extra fucked is to do austerity and still not balance the budget, because if you are still borrowing money, which they are nonstop, like to cut everything and then still be borrowing money is so fucking crazy. Because at the very least, on the societies that aren't doing austerity, like America, they're still borrowing money like fucking crazy. Like it's going to have negative effects, absolutely. But at least in the short term, the shit runs. It's so wild to cut all public services and then still be going deeper in it, still paying more in interest every year. Go big or go home. Is America not doing austerity? I've never had NHS. No, we're not doing austerity. We never had, for healthcare, we've never had anything close to that. But America has not cut government spending in an austerity type way. Anything's up on it. It's up all over the place.
Government have been worse for your finances than the Great Depression. In a modern society, when the government ceases to work, everything ceases to work. The British economy has seen no growth in the past 15 years. The median salary in Britain hasn't changed in over 15 years. If we had maintained the pace of wage growth we had before 2008, we would have, on average, about £11,000 more in disposable income each. The average family in Poland and Slovenia is set to be better off than the average British family by the end of the decade. People who live in the former East Germany, who spent 44 years under a communist dictatorship, are now richer than the UK average. It wasn't always like this.
Oi, bruv.
Cast your mind back to 2007. I was in year...
It makes me want to get a pint. You know what I'm saying? Makes me want to pop off to the pub. Homelander done take me bloody wife. He's from New Zealand, bro. Homelander. All that and Homelander took my wife.
3 and spending all my allowance on Club Penguin. Things were far from perfect, but materially, we were all better off. Huge strides had been made in reducing child poverty. Crime had been on a downward trend.
Bro, children should be poor. I'll be brave enough to say it. You know what I'm saying? They're not working. If they're not working, they shouldn't be rich. That's what I'm running on. This is my campaign. Better watch out, Mr. Beast. Okay, I'm coming for you. Children should be poor. They are lazy. They don't work. Jaden Smith should not be richer than all of us. That is a fact.
trend since 1995, and the health service was in such good shape that people complained the waiting list to see a doctor was too short.
If I ring up and ask, say, on the Monday for an appointment on the Wednesday, no, you have to ring back Wednesday morning. That's right.
Well, sorry, yeah, but surely they're not saying to you that you have to have it quicker than you wanted. Well,
Per capita, Britain was one of the richest countries in the world, beaten only by a few tax havens and oil.
Damn, that's crazy, actually. That is a generational fall off. 2005. I still complained, by the way. Can you imagine? Damn, that's crazy. I didn't know the UK GDP per capita was that high in 05. They're like up there with the Nordics, bro. I didn't know the UK had it like that in 05.
Oil states.
That's crazy.
The average British person was richer than the average in the USA, France, Japan, Australia, and Canada, but in 14 short years, we threw all of that away. The British economy has even performed worse than Russia, a nation crippled by sanctions, a costly war on its own doorstep, and where 1 in 5 people are alcoholics. I cannot stress how utterly over it is for the UK. 1 in 3 children are...
Can you tell this guy's British? What, is something giving it away?
Are in poverty. In places like Newcastle, it's as high as 41%. 1 in 20 children can't even afford to sleep on a mattress. 800,000 people went to hospital for malnutrition last year, up 300% since 2013. In 2010, the charity...
Bro, they talked about this, but that's crazy. People literally getting shorter is like... You can't have a better sign of huge mistakes in malnutrition. To go from like this level of growth to that is like you are not feeding your kids consistently or healthy enough food. That's really bad.
300% since 2013. In 2010, the charity Trussell Trust delivered 41,000 food packages to struggling families. In 2023, it was 3 million, an increase of 7,000%. Enemies of Britain, you should be doing victory laps, host a party, invite all of your friends. When the Conservatives arrived in office in 2010, the Treasury under Labour had been running a deficit of £150 billion a year trying to weather the 2008 global financial crisis. If another big crisis were to...
That's such a small amount now. £150 billion deficit would be like you are the most well-managed economy on earth. That you are a financial genius. You have really managed to fucking blood from the stone.
To happen, like a public health emergency or a major conflict, Britain wouldn't have the money to deal with it. So austerity measures were, as David Cameron called it, fixing the roof while the sun was shining. It has now been 14 years since the Conservatives took office, 9 years since they shook off the Liberal Democrats and governed alone without compromise. Yet the roof was never fixed. Things did not get back to normal when the deficit was under control. And when it did rain, it rained hard. Our crippled island stood no chance against the tumultuous 2020s. The Conservatives justified their budget cuts economically with a 6-page research paper called Growth in a Time of Debt, which suggested that too much debt would severely hamper economic growth and recovery from recessions. Needless to say, this paper was fraught with errors, including an Excel typo which threw off all the calculations and drastically overemphasized the results. Even the writers of the paper eventually said that the paper was wrong, and a revised version of the study revealed that austerity policies were much less effective than first thought. But that doesn't matter to the Conservatives anymore. They stopped pursuing financial stability long ago, and are now engaging in a nefarious social re-engineering program that specifically targets the poorest areas of the country. That sounds like some kind of left-wing conspiracy, but no, they openly admit to taking from the poor to give to the rich.
I managed to start changing the funding formulas to make sure that areas like this are getting the funding that they deserve. Because we inherited a bunch of formulas from the Labour Party that shoved all the funding into deprived urban areas, then that needed to be undone. I started the work of undoing that.
But is that the end of the story? After all, we're only...
Dude, I fucking love Rishi Sunak, dude. Nobody's ever been more of like a fucking rich boy stereotype. He doesn't even know that he's being wrong. He doesn't even know that would be a bad thing to say. He's like, actually, it's so funny. Him asking that homeless guy if he owns a business was just an all-timer. Him saying, I don't have any, I have a lot of friends. I have rich friends, middle-class friends, working class. Well, not working class, but... He's just goated, dude. You guys should have voted for him again. Bring him back. He's funny.
10.81% of the way through the runtime of this video. It turns out that many of our nation's problems are actually decades old.
Yeah, he's so
and when the
mask off.
Tories quite literally ripped up the social foundations of the nation, they brought all of them out into the open at the same time. A cacophony of catastrophes, aren't we lucky? If you live in Britain and you're around my age, you probably scarcely even remember living in a world outside of late trains, littered streets, shuttered shops and crumbling schools. My viewer base is mostly 18 to 30-year-olds who for the first time in a century are more likely to be living with family than having their own home. You should be out enjoying your 20s, throwing parties, having loads of sex, making a name for yourself. How is that possible if you're stuck in your childhood bedroom, still with your Mr. Men bedsheets from when you were a kid, subject to your nagging parents, the only other options giving away
British
like
people
half of
should
your
not be having
income on
sex.
rent,
Other than that, I
or
agree.
getting locked into a 35-year mortgage on the most boring house you've ever seen. That's not projection, just in case you thought it was. You probably didn't, but just in case that you did. Don't blame yourself. You're not a failure. Look around. We're all in the same boat. Nothing is new. Everything is at least 40 years old.
That's another thing is like, moving government spending from parts that are like super wasteful and just end up flowing to rich people's pockets, a lot of which is military contract spending, and putting it on public works projects is like proven to work. If you have the government, basically the idea of what a government is. Do you understand? Like, you and me both live in the same neighborhood. Neither one of us is going to take the money to build a road, but we're both going to use the road. It's going to benefit both of our lives. So we take a piece of both of our money and everyone neighbor's money, we put it together, and we build a road. That's the point. That's what works. That's the best thing the government can do. Take the money, public works projects, build roads and bridges and infrastructure. Everyone benefits. It's a great use of the pool's money. It has like positive GDP gain because then businesses spring up along the roads and people's lives are improved. They can be more efficient. They can be more productive because they can move. That's what a commie would say. It's like so not communist. That's the thing. I feel like the window has moved so far that when I say things that are like, this is like something that like a fucking dyed-in-the-wool old man right-wing conservative would be for in the 50s. Like an Eisenhower Republican would be like, yeah, this is what government's about. And now it's like fucking Karl Marx. It's like saying it now is like I'm Stalin's ghost. It's so wild. It's so wild how it moved. I don't understand, but it's It's wild.
Houses are so damn expensive these days. The average house price has increased 224% since 1990, far outstripping wages over the same time period. The problem is we're being haunted. Haunted by an unholy
Holy shit, that's it, folks! We have to stop there. The UK is haunted! We figured it out. That's the problem. The UK is haunted by an unholy ghost. A ghost? I see. I was worried it was going to be boring economic stuff that we can never figure out or fix. But it's a ghost. That's what it is. So all we have to do is get the Ghostbusters or go on a fun, wacky, kooky adventure. And actually, the video is really good. I can watch more of it. If you guys are interested, I can watch more of it because I'm enjoying it. Let me know. I'm down to watch more. I'm down to watch another section, and we decide every section. But so far, it's interesting. We're learning. All right, fuck it. Let's do it.
Frankenstein ghost of socialist Thatcherism.
Margaret Thatcher, the original socialist.
In the 1930s, it was really cheap to build stuff. Interest rates were low, making it easy to borrow money and invest in new construction projects. You didn't need to ask permission to build. If you owned the land, you could build anything. The only rules were that the structure needed to be safe and...
Can I fact check that real quick? I'm not saying he's wrong, but I believe interest rates were probably around what they are now, if not higher. Okay, it was between 3 and 6%, and what is it now? Interest rates UK 2024. It's 5. I mean, yeah, I don't 100%. I mean, I think one of the big problems was that we got interest rates down to 0. The 0 bound is insane. But okay, we'll see.
Well ventilated. Building was booming. In 1935 alone, 70,000 homes were built in London and nearly 300,000 across the whole UK, giving rise to the classic suburbs still around today. Construction became 17% of the UK economy and accounted for a third of all economic growth in this period. A lot of people didn't like this. The socialists within the Labour Party didn't like that private, capitalist developers were dictating the national housing policy. So when Labour ascended to power after the Second World War, they introduced this, the Town and Country Planning Act of 1947. From now on, you must ask for government permission to build anything, so that any and all construction would be in the interests of the public, not profits. Everything must be built with the approval of the local residents. The government, in theory being the representative of the local residents, could just give themselves planning permission, and for most of the post-war era, it was they who built most of the nation's infrastructure. Then, when the Thatcher government took power in 1979, they slashed the budget of national and local construction projects, believing that the private market would simply pick up the slack. What they seemingly forgot to do was repeal the law preventing the private market from building anything. Right. And what does a policy such as that look like several decades later? Under a plan drawn up by the Poplar Housing Association, 330 homes in Tower Hamlets would be demolished and replaced by 1,600 modern homes, with 600 being designated as low-income housing. There was also added space for retail and transport right next to Canary Wharf, where all the high-paying jobs are. That sounds like in the public interest to me, and the public agreed. The council said yes, the planning board said yes, even the residents said yes, in a referendum that was 90% in favour with a 90%
Let's build,
turnout.
Baby, build!
But London's City Council rejected it because some people, quantity unknown, said that the buildings would be too high? And so the story goes, year upon year, up and down the country. Private developer wants to build, a small minority of local residents get up in arms about it, and the local council, not wanting to lose any voters, denies the planning permission. And the nation continues to stagnate. Just look at how old our buildings are compared to the rest of Europe. The majority of people live in houses.
Well, let's see. Most common period of construction for dwellings. So if it's red, it's really bad. If it's green, it's kind of bad. And if it's blue, it's good. I see. Yeah, France. Yikes. Yike. I guess those are probably historical, though. The green is probably the worst, actually. Damn, it is so crazy. But this is like the period I'm talking about. That post-World War II era, 50s to the 70s, that's when everything got built. They had these fucking high taxes on the rich. They had shit that actually worked, and they built everything. And now it's all fucking...
houses built before 1970. Last year, the estate agents Foxtons had nearly 100,000 applicants competing for over just 2,000 available properties. The waiting list for a council house in Brent is 14 years, with 20,000 people on the list. And as in all cases where supply is limited, those with deeper pockets always win.
Right.
If you ever do manage to escape that tier of the history classroom poster, you get locked into a 35-year mortgage, enslaved to a bank, giving away half their paycheck to a landlord who is oftentimes an actual lord, paying off a house that was built in 1925. The streets of Strasbourg and Frankfurt, even Warsaw and Prague, are filled with boutiques and small businesses and cafes.
I do think the way this is presented, and this is obviously very stark and very bad, but he's extra doomer about it for the video, which I don't think you need. I mean, you know, the idea of buying a house from someone else is not slavery. You know, I think it's British. It's British level of doomerism, especially if the housing prices are affordable. If they're normal and compared to income, it's not crazy. It's not like, oh god, this is the devil's contract. But I can understand. I can understand that he's British. He's living through it, and it's bad, and he wants to make it clear that it's bad.
On British streets, you will find nothing except Greggs, a WH Smith, or a betting shop if you're lucky. Independent businesses are priced out. Entrepreneurialism in Britain today is mostly drop shipping and ticket scalping. This is why we are thousands of pounds poorer than our German counterparts. We are the only country in Western Europe that is like this. Spain has built over 10 high-speed rail lines since 1992, most of them much longer than HS2.
America, same fucking problem. It's one thing that I get most frustrated with is that we have the money, we have the capability, we have the technology, we could have high-speed rail in America, and we just don't. And it's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. It's stupid. And like, if we can't do it out of the own intelligence of our hearts, can we at least do it because we don't want to get one up by China? That's the only thing Democrats and Republicans can agree on, is they both are like distrustful of China. Can we do it? Can we just focus on that? Can we say that China built a bunch and we could probably do it, but we can like, can we, whatever method we got to do to get people to do it, it would be nice. Yeah, make it a space race. I don't care. Make it something. We built stuff to beat Russia. We can't build stuff to beat China. Just get us a high-speed rail to Vegas.
In fact, for €30, you can get a first-class ticket with a 2-course meal included with any journey over 2 hours. Why can't we have that? It's not a one-off novelty that gets featured in a Tom Scott video. It's a normal thing that normal countries have. And we don't have it. Britain's cities are more poorly served by public transport than those of any other wealthy Western country, including the car-centric suburban hell.
Get fucking rocked! Get fucking rocked July 4th, baby! Can we get a USA? Holy shit! shit, dude. You have worse public transport than the United States of America? Dear God, we fucking won that war. This was George Washington's dream. This is what he knew would come one day. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. I heard an eagle caw in the background. That's crazy. We literally take a car to go down the street. Oh my God. I have a walkable 7-Eleven and I'm going to drive there later. And we have public transport. That's fucking wild. That's wild to me.
Of the United States. Brescia in Italy, population 200,000, has a fully automated metro line built in 2013, with plans for 2 more. Leeds, population 500,000, is the largest city in Western Europe without a light rail or metro system. It may have something to do with how the bureaucratic inquiries required to construct a new tram station can cost more than the inquiry into the Iraq War. A small minority of local residents have the power to block any and all development, even if it's for the betterment.
Government for wealthy boomers is what we have en masse. UK, US. Government, essentially socialism for wealthy boomers. Complete protection from any downside for them on anything. The entire powers of the government have been hijacked to ensure their wealth continues to grow and is protected from downside. It's crazy. It's crazy. They do vote at higher rates. No, I mean, the thing that's going to happen is they're going to start dying. They actually are start dying. They're already dying. But then my worry, and this is not so much a worry for me, but a worry that I feel about the way things go, is that we're going to have the same thing, but with millennials. Because there's a lot of millennials. And once the boomers die, we're going to just fucking confiscate the wealth and distribute it to the millennials. It won't be that direct, but it'll be like that. And then we're going to vote ourselves more power and protection with the government apparatus until we get old and die. Why are you worried? I'm not worried myself personally. I mean, it's the same reason I'm not particularly worried for myself personally if Trump wins. I'm a well-off white dude with no debt. It's not gonna. I am worried about the effects to the society I live in and people around me, and it's called empathy, bro. It's I don't know. It makes me. It's called wokey. I just can't get this fucking woke mind virus. I need to take a fucking pill or something. I can't wait till it's my turn to control the late-stage capitalist machine. Yeah, well, we'll see. What the thing is, I mean, maybe the toy is just broke when they hand it over to us. Do you know what I'm saying? When the boomers got handed the toy, there was like 0 debt to GDP, great brand new fresh infrastructure. Yeah, it's like we're getting handed a pretty fucking broken toy to play with. So we'll see.
Of society, even if they benefit, like vetoing vital flood defenses that could stop their homes from being destroyed because the defenses would look kind of ugly. House building targets have never once been met since they were introduced 23 years ago. Not under the Tories, not under Labour. So instead, the Tories just abolished the targets.
Which looks to me like turning off your smoke alarm just because you don't like the noise that it's making.
It's like when China got rid of the youth unemployment stat. Yeah, it's starting to look bad. Just get rid of it. Just don't even... stop publishing it. What are the chances it'll flood if it never rains in the UK anyways? Yeah.
The houses that do get built are poor quality, cramped, ugly, and lagging behind our European neighbours. They have to comply with the silliest of regulations, such as absurdly small window sizes.
That's kind of small.
This regulation apparently exists because climate change might make people want to open their windows more so they can get some fresh air, and small children could fall out of them. Instead of making windows smaller, why don't we just install air conditioning so people don't have to open?
What? The windows have to be small because small children might climb out of them? They're still going to fit through a small window. Oh, I see. At the same time, you have to fatten up the kids, too. So more sugary meals for little kids and smaller windows, and eventually they won't be able to fall out. That's actually genius. The UK's got it figured out. They're thinking long term. When the entire rest of the globe has a crisis because every kid starts falling out of windows, they're going to be laughing all the way to the bank. It's going to be a huge UK win, dude.
Open their windows. Well, because air conditioning is more or less banned because it would use too much electricity. Can't we just make more electricity? Apparently not. Solar construction businesses have been waiting 15 years for permission to install solar farms
because one group in particular have been very vocal in their opposition to green energy. Have you guessed who it is yet?
Young people, I'm sure.
That's right, it's the
Young
Green
people.
Party.
2014, Surrey, Reigate Green Party opposes a solar farm that could have provided green energy to over 3,500 homes. 2018, Kent, the Green Party opposes the installation of a new solar farm in uninhabited marshland. 2020, Hastings, the Green Party opposes plans to build a 2-megawatt solar farm.
Interesting.
2021, Derbyshire, the Green Party opposes any and all solar farms in the entire county, with Councillor Frank Adlington saying, "Solar farms are not the future of Derbyshire's energy sector." He goes on to say that if the Green Party were in government, there would be greater investment in offshore wind power, hydropower, tidal, geothermal, and other renewable technologies instead.
Still no nuclear, huh?
Mr. Adlington, Frank, I don't know if you've ever looked at a map of the county you represent, but it's landlocked. Second of all, you might want to check in with your fellow party members.
Because East Suffolk Council, which the Green Party controls, have blocked the expansion of more wind farms in the North Sea because they were alarmed by the current developer-led model. What a weird group of people. Climate change is an existential threat to humanity, but don't do anything about it if it means somebody would make a profit from the solution. Horror stories from bureaucratic Britain go on and on and on.
I mean, I don't want to get into it, but I talk about this
to build
about
an
with
offshore
Germany
wind
and the
farm.
Green Party for nuclear. I just fucking hate being anti-nuclear. I just hate it, dude. And I get too heated, so I'm not gonna talk about it. It makes me frustrated. It feels like I'm talking to a fucking dense ass brick wall, dude. I just think it's the dumbest person alive, so I can't.
£1 billion to rebuild a roundabout in Bedfordshire. Victorian-era telephone cables preventing the rollout of high-speed internet. £9 billion and 22 years to build a 3-mile tunnel under the River Thames. This tunnel has produced 359,000 pages of paperwork, and not a single shovel of earth has been moved. Last year, India landed a probe on the moon for $75 million. We could have landed Britain on the moon 100 times for the cost of planning to build a 3-mile tunnel. And it's not just the big projects that get blocked with the rise of...
But see, someone's making that money, and it's not fucking regular taxpayers, bro. It's a grift. It's a fucking grift. Everything's hijacked to make people that already have money a bunch of money. That's the fucking part. It's just so inefficient and so wasteful. It makes me mad because it makes people turn off on the idea of government. Like the idea of like people pooling their money to buy things that we all need, which totally works. And then, dude, now I'm getting real existential, but then they like look at all this problem. They're like, dude, you know whose the fault of this is? the fault of that money getting siphoned off. It's fucking immigrants, bro. Immigrants are the problem. That's why none of this shit works. They're the ones stealing all the money. And it's like, bro, no! If we just look right there, it's the fucking dude. The fucking rich dude who set the whole system up to fucking steal it so he can sit around. It's so frustrating. Immigration. Yeah, listen, immigration on the whole is of course a good thing for a country economically. It's just been proven time and time again. And we have a long time in history of like, you know, whatever wave of immigrants it is are demonized until they become part of the society. And like people hated Irish people when they immigrated to America. There was like this whole thing of Irish people are taking jobs. The damn Irish are taking all our jobs, dude. So obviously that being said, I do think sometimes people completely discredit that there could ever be any problem with immigration, that no amount could be too much or too fast or too destabilizing. And then that pushes people who are like seeing it affect their lives far right, which I think is fucked up. I think you should be able to talk about it in a more normalized way to where like a stable, consistent, legal method of immigration is good. But it's tough to get into that. It's such a polarizing subject. But I think it's causing so much consternation. And the problem is that it gets weaponized to blame things that it is not completely unrelated. But who will I blame for all my problems? Here's another thing. Last thing I'll say on this, because we're on pause the video, is that I low-key think this. I thought this for a long time. I've said this before, but I truly believe that everyone actually secretly knows that it is the mega rich siphoning off the money. But I truly believe that people are, they unconsciously are afraid because it's a way harder fight. I think people realize that like, hey, this immigrant is so much easier to like bully and lock out and fight than fighting Jeff Bezos. He is a tough fucking fight. We're probably not going to win. He's got so much money and so much power, and we're probably going to lose, and that's demoralizing. I actually believe this. I think people, they reverse themselves into their position from that emotional truth, which is that they are afraid of it because it's hard. It'll be really fucking hard. And that's what I think. I think that it is. Because I think people are actually not dumb on this. I think they know it in their heart, but they won't admit it. Why not use summons to beat Bezos? That's what I'm saying. We need to fucking ring the mimic tier. Okay? It's time to stop fucking around. We have to beat Jeff Bezos. We have to ring the mimic tier. We have to use magic. We have to use spells. Okay? It's time to stop fucking around. We're going to use the other party's summons. We're going to use Rivers of Blood, Ash of War. Whatever it takes.
Of smartphones, these iconic British red telephone boxes have become public urinals and billboards for prostitutes. But when local, safe and fit for human habitation, you should be allowed to build whatever you want. No permission required. If you want to build a stadium in the Chilterns or something, that's when the neighbours should be consulted. You know what kind of place has rules like this? Tokyo. And who'd want to live in a dense, overcrowded third world slum from hell like Tokyo? This is not Tokyo, this is a green screen. But a strict planning system isn't the only sucker punch this act has had in store for British prosperity. The 1947 Act also introduced the concept of green belts. The land surrounding cities would be frozen in place, banned from being built on or altered in any way, even land that looks like this. Building on just 1% of greenbelt land could deliver 700,000 new homes. We reduced the size of the greenbelt by 10%, and that's 7 million new houses. Just 10%. Greenbelt defenders like to say that it's there to stop cities sprawling outwards, give the city's working class a beautiful place to explore, and protect nature. although none of these claims hold much water. We could double the size of every UK city and it would still only cover 12% of the island, leaving 88% free to be left to nature. The average city dweller visits the Greenbelt only once per year, and almost all Greenbelt land is privately owned. The only way you can enjoy it is by hoping there is a public footpath. With no other legal uses, this land is subject to intensive farming, which the UK National Ecosystem Assessment found is a net negative to the local environment. Empty fields are not protecting nature. The Peak District is nature. The Highlands are nature.
This is not nature. This is not something worth protecting.
Basically, I hate Clement Attlee. But his government introduced the National Health Service, the pride of Britain, that in 2020 was voted by the public as the coolest thing to ever exist, beating out James Bond, space travel, and Obama. Wow, so surely it must be good, right?
It would have been fucking whack if UK citizens voted Obama as the coolest thing to exist. It would be like, quit riding, little bro. You know what I'm saying? That would have been whack, okay? It would be glazing. It would be glazing, dude. I know we're allies, but that's you should have said James Bond. That's a classic UK thing to say.
In October 2020, during the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, revolutionary New York underground hip-hop artist MF Doom was checked into St. James's Hospital in Leeds. He had recently moved to Leeds from London, because many fans will be surprised to learn that just like Christian Bale and Champagne, Doom was actually British. Despite living in America almost all his life, a loophole in...
I didn't know this. This is fucked up. This is actually fucked. I did not know this. I've listened to a lot of Doom too. I did not know he was British. He's one of ours. That's crazy. That's crazy.
In citizenship laws led to his deportation from the USA in 2012. Doom is one of the most influential hip-hop artists of all time, given the honour of your favourite rapper's favourite rapper. His storytelling is sublime. Vaudeville villain, a personal favourite.
He's not favorite with a U though. Favorite? No, dude, he's a favorite.
Of mine follows the exploits of a time-travelling drug dealer who gets trapped in New York's Upper West Side in 1993. Undoubtedly, one of the GOATs. At the time of his admittance, Doom was taking medication for high blood pressure, but NHS bureaucracy prevented medical staff from accessing records from the London hospital that had prescribed him the drugs. He had taken a different medication to usual and was developing a severe reaction. Within just a few days, Daniel Dumoulin was dead at 49. His wife alleges that overworked nurses couldn't check on his condition as often as required. This story is not well known, because fans of New York hip-hop and people interested in British healthcare policies are typically very separate groups. But MF Doom was just one of the estimated 300 to 500 people who die every week due to delays in NHS treatment. That's 20,000 people a year.
And this is because, and I know it's kind of sinful to say this, but the NHS isn't very good at keeping people alive.
For 30 years, the UK has consistently had the lowest cancer survival rates of any developed nation. The NHS performs worse than average in the treatment of 8 of the 12 most common causes of death, including heart attacks and cancer. We are third worst in the developed world at treating curable illness. Infant mortality is 27% higher in Britain than the Western European average. Since 2010, wait times for ambulances have doubled. More than a quarter of A&E patients wait more than 4 hours for help. The number of people waiting for NHS is up 200% since 2010, with 23,000 people waiting more than 2 years for treatment. 66% of the population are overweight, and half. One of the few things the UK ranks the highest in is healthcare equality. So at the very least, whether you're rich or poor, white or black, we're all equally dead of COVID-19. Not only are the outcomes terrible, the pay for those working in the sector is truly appalling.
The starting salaries for junior doctors in places like Australia, Canada, the United States and France can be up to double the £29,000 basic that junior doctors would earn here in the UK.
If pay had kept up with inflation, junior doctors...
Why are American doctors low here? Is it possibly because there's a huge leechy sector of middlemen that glom out all of the extra money we pay? And it doesn't even go to the doctors or the nurses involved? Residency programs? I see. It's like a rookie contract. Okay, well said, well said. That actually completely explains it to me.
Would he earn here in the UK?
If pay had kept up with inflation, junior doctors would be earning £20,000 more per year. Other countries know this. Australia is now offering huge benefits for British medical workers to abandon the NHS and move down under.
But the UK is the main target where this ad will air from Sunday.
And it's why Western Australia welcomes you to be part of WA Health. Financial incentives available. Apply today. Authorised by the State Government, Perth.
And it's working. 1 in 7 doctors trained by the NHS have since moved to another country.
That's
double
terrible.
As many as any other developed country. We are literally paying to train other countries' doctors and nurses. The unions have done their...
That's such a brain drain. Yoink. We'll take our British doctors, please. We need... well, Chase is Australian, but you get the idea. We need him for our House MD shows.
Their best to fix the situation, but let's not pretend they're not partially at fault. In 2009, the British Medical Association successfully lobbied the government to put a cap on the number of medical school places available to British students, because they thought that fewer doctors would lead to higher pay. And it worked. Due to staff shortages, hospitals have resorted to hiring freelance doctors to cover shifts, paying over £2,500 to hire one doctor for one afternoon. What can we do to fix all this? Nothing. It's pretty hard to improve a system that is literally already praised as a god.
Today, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh were among those to celebrate 75 years of the National Health Service. The Prime Minister and Leader of the Opposition read Bible verses for an institution which has often been described as the UK's national religion.
And I saw the holy city, the New Jerusalem.
So whatever you're thinking, whatever crazy idea you come up with to fix the NHS, ain't happening.
I think people are starting to come around to this point of view that it's not effective. Because like this video has mentioned, I think in 2005 it was probably incredible, especially compared to America, where it's just incredible amounts of money and no chance for poor people, and it's just gotten worse. And I think people are waking up to that. Even me passively, I think I read more than the average person on it, but like you can just notice people are not as effusive with praise on the NHS as they used to be.
Because no matter what idea you come up with, the public and the media will accuse you of supporting the total abolition of the NHS, and that we will be only a few years away from being like Americans paying $50,000 for stitches, which makes any kind of meaningful reform politically impossible. None of these conspiracy theories ever come true. In fact, the King's Fund, a pro-NHS think tank, finds no evidence at all of creeping privatisation of the health service. Decentralising the system. Labour have been talking of giving away power. Perhaps the answer is making the NHS more local, for local people. Well, in 2003, Labour introduced foundation hospitals, giving NHS hospitals a degree of independence from the government. The British Medical Association, the Royal College of Nursing, and 130 backbench Labour MPs opposed the idea due to fears of privatisation, and The Guardian said it would effectively privatise NHS hospitals. It didn't. contracting private companies to run medical facilities. This is what they do in Sweden to keep down costs, because around 40% of GPs in Sweden are run by private companies contracted by regional health authorities. In 2012, the coalition introduced the Health and Social Care Act, which, among other things, made it easier for private companies to be contracted to do NHS work. The BMA said it was an affront to the public service ethos that glues the NHS together. The BMA must unmask this reform agenda for what it really is: the final step in the privatisation of the service. It wasn't. Paying for GP appointments. Among countries with single-payer healthcare, Britain is actually in the minority of countries without any form of upfront costs. Nice. An appointment with your doctor in Norway will set you back about £20. In France, a more modest £6.50. In Ireland, the appointment is free, but a blood test is €30. Of course, if you are low income or elderly or chronically ill, it's free. If a similar system was done in the UK, it could raise a few £billions every year. But last year, when a former NHS boss proposed a £7 a day payment for hospital stays to ease pressure on NHS finances, the campaign group Keep Our NHS Public called it a harebrained idea and a zombie policy. I assume Norway didn't get the memo.
Boo! Boo! Smug! Smug Norway, smug Nordics. We don't care. We don't care, bro. We literally don't care. Smug.
Give it more tax money. This is what everyone says they want, but even this is not enough to placate conspiracy theorists. Since at least 1970, the UK has been below average on healthcare investment compared to other advanced countries, except for 2 years under the last Labour government. Yet, when Labour was investing in the health service at the highest rate in its history, they still had to roll out PR managers to make it very clear to the media that they were not secretly privatising the NHS. Because they weren't. Do you know what the absolute worst part about this is? We already spend more on healthcare out of our own pockets than Americans. The NHS is in such a state that switching to the American system would probably be an improvement.
No way. That is a tough stat to believe. That is a tough stat to believe. I'm having trouble. I wonder if this is like a specific out-of-pocket expenditure, percentage of current health expenditure. Interesting. Interesting. So it's percentage. So U.S. people may be spending more and the costs are higher, but they are spending 11.5% of it out of pocket. This is possible. I mean, everything is done through insurance in America. If you don't have insurance, you just literally can't do it. And the numbers are so much higher that like 11% out of pocket could still be. I think the raw numbers for the U.S. are probably way higher. But percentage-wise, as percent of the total cost, because like if it costs, you know, fucking $80,000 for something in America and it costs $5,000 in the UK or whatever, then the percentage. I think this is a trick of the percentage, but I don't think this is made up. It's still a weird stat. I think it's a misleading stat. Because the thing about American healthcare is that because everything is done through insurance, the costs are artificially inflated every year in the battle with the insurance company. It's all like this weird middleman. So the amount you actually pay, it gets higher and higher, but it's a smaller percent of what they say it costs. So I think this is misleading, but, you know, still something to be said.
Would probably be an improvement. Financial wars are being fought between the world's elite businessmen. The battlefield is London, and you, the British taxpayer, are paying for them to exploit the legal system.
We're not British taxpayers. Even the British people in my chat don't pay taxes. So, just to be clear, nobody watching is a paying British taxpayer. Okay? They all evade, or they're too young.
For their own gain. At the same time, money is being siphoned off from the police and court system to fund these exploits, rendering crime effectively legal in the UK. Private prosecutions are an archaic legal procedure invented sometime in the Middle Ages. Prior to the introduction of the modern court system in the 19th century, if you wanted to bring someone to justice, the only way to get it was to pay for it yourself. Get permission from the government, hire some lawyers and a judge, rent out a courtroom, recruit some jurors, and run the trial yourself. And legally, this is a legitimate court that can find someone innocent or guilty and put them in prison.
That's insane.
In the past, this has allowed the common man to obtain justice if the Crown courts refused to hear the case. In 2017, it was used to put a Russian millionaire behind bars for defrauding £1 million from an investor. In principle, it's a good idea. Okay, but here's the twist.
No,
unlike a regular trial where both parties cover their own legal fees, in a private prosecution, the government funds all of your legal fees, but not the fees of your opponent. What a perfectly balanced game with no possible exploits. When coalition budget cuts prevented the legal system from functioning properly, many of London's wealthiest and most corrupt businessmen instead turned to private prosecutions. They started accusing their rivals of stealing millions of pounds or breaking contracts on a technicality. If you win the case, you can send your opponent to jail or give them an unlimited fine. Even if you expect to lose the case, that's also a-okay, because you can drag out the trial until your opponent goes bankrupt. And the British taxpayer pays for you to do it.
That is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. That is crazy. That is crazy we are not doing this in America, dude. Holy shit, we gotta steal this. It's so brilliant. Why are we not on this fucking game? UK's beating us at our own fucking game. That's awesome. The classic rot build. Huge British dub. Wow, genius.
It's a no-risk bet. Anyway, the cost of giving free taxpayer money to billionaires to sue each other into oblivion has completely wiped out all of the savings made from budget cuts to the police and court system since 2010. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to tax disabled people some more to make...
That is truly... I can't even see any value to this. Having a... private prosecutions that are still government funded. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. I don't... That's so stupid. Man, that's really dumb.
Up for it. If you commit a crime in Britain today, there is at least a 95% chance you will get away with it. And that's not me being hyperbolic. Look at the rate of reported crimes that end in a criminal charge. Assault, 5%. Stalking, 5%. Harassment, 4%. Burglary, 4%. Criminal damage.
That's only because if you're walking around the UK, you think everybody's a stalker, harassing assaulter. But you just realize they're just British. 95% of them are just British. That's the problem. So you're always reporting the crime, and then you find out that's not. It's just. It's a trick of the light. It's a confusion.
Damage, 4%. Vandalism, 3%. Vehicle theft, 2%.
Jack the Ripper.
Muggings and pickpocketing, 1%. 248 phones are stolen in London every day, and only 2% of them are ever recovered. Most police don't even investigate stolen phones, even though there are trackers in every phone to tell the police exactly where the stolen phones are located. The crimes with the highest charge rates are shoplifting at 14%, which is frankly amazing considering nearly 3 in 4 reported lootings by criminal gangs don't even get a police response, and cannabis possession at 15%.
Well, you gotta
Evidently,
stop weed.
police think smoking a joint and watching videos of baby pandas
You
is a
gotta
bigger threat
stop
to public
weed.
safety than stalking or...
I didn't even realize. Okay, you should have said that from the beginning. This video is mislabeled. Why is Britain a dump now? Because they smoke weed there. Okay? They started smoking the devil's lettuce and the fucking country went to shit. If we could lock them up, jail them, maybe even execute them for smoking weed, the country would be back on track. Everything would be fixed. Rishi Sunak is so zooted. Yeah, you can just tell, bro. He's a rich boy smoking weed.
burglary. If the police won't protect us, and we can't own guns for self-defense, you would think the party of personal responsibility would at least legalize pepper spray. Sadly, even the mildest pepper spray is considered a weapon, and you can be arrested for carrying it. Meanwhile, the cops have been told to not bother.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I promise you the solution to this problem is not to give everybody a gun. If you have... if your country's riddled with crime, making it very easy and available to have everybody have a gun is not going to suddenly clear that up. That's... No, don't worry, Chad. I'm just trying to make sure all the guns stay here in America. I don't want a British person to take our guns, okay? The prices of guns will go up if they start buying them. We have to... I'm thinking ahead, all right? Don't worry. I got our backs.
Arresting actual, real, genuine criminals, instead sending them away with a warning. People like you and me, average people who only commit minor crimes like movie piracy and cannabis smoking, get the full weight of the law upon us, while blatant criminals can do whatever they want like it's the purge. Theft at knife point is basically legal, but a tower that doesn't look exactly like the brochure is prohibited and has to be demolished. Being a lawyer is a tough job with long hours and low pay, but 25% of barristers have quit their job since 2017, and a further 25% say that they plan to. I would too if I was paid on average £12,000 a year. I think that's a typo. Let me check. It turns out it's true. It is actually £12,000 a year. The National Crime Agency loses 10% of its workforce every year due to quitting. Probably because their officers earn 14% less than a regular beat bobby on the street. Where do these barristers and special agents go? To the private law sector, where they get straight to work making 4 times the salary in private prosecutions, defrauding the taxpayer. By paying barristers poverty wages, the Tories have handed over our...
So interesting that all of the gung-ho for austerity doesn't think about cutting this. Just so interesting, bro. If you're gonna be austere, you certainly picked an interesting combination of things to be austere on, and not this. Quite curious. I'm going to pause it here on crime is legal. I think we get the gist. We have spent 40 minutes on this topic. It is very interesting. I could watch more, but I think it's fair to split it up. And we're also nearing 11, and I want to get one more funny video. I want to get a funny video. But we might break that up. I might watch more. I thought it was very good. That was a good video. It is stark what is happening in the UK. To our UK brothers. Get smarter. Fair. I like the other guy's video. I thought it was a good video. It was well researched. Bruvs. Our bruvs. Good night, R-dubs. I'm not even British, and that shit got me in doom and gloom. Really? That shit got me popping off, dude. Shit make America look good. Shit got me cheesing, bro. I'm walking down the street with a pep in my step. I'm gonna eat a fucking big old Big Mac, dude. Watch the debate again. All right, don't try to bring me down. Don't try to bring me down. Let's get one more video, but let's make it a funny one. All right, this one's a little funnier. Still learn something, but let's get something a little funnier. The wacky world of marketing. Okay. How about something a little goofier? I'm going to refresh. Let's refresh. AI is ruining the internet from Drew Gooden. I think this is about like Facebook boomers having weird AI shit. That could be funny. Drew Gooden's very funny. I think 33 is a little long for me though. We measured luck in the NFL. It's a big deal. Dude, I've always thought this. Ever since I was a kid and I was talking to my dad about how much he's obsessed with the NFL, and he was explaining it to me, I was like, wait a minute. Playoffs are best of one? They're best of one, dude? So, like, if you just have a good day, suddenly the fucking playoff is... It feels like completely random. I could watch that. Or what about... let's see. Michael Jackson spotted alive. Ba-ba-da-da-da-da. 22,000 volunteered to clean toilets. How cats broke the game. Billionaire house tier list. History of cheating in Clash of Clans. Fuck it. It sounds funny.
On October...
It's gaming related. It's funny. Why would you cheat in Clash of Clans? That's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. I have to watch it because that's so fucking low. That is so embarrassing to cheat in Clash of Clans.
October 4th, 2012, the official Clash of Clans Facebook page congratulated a player named the True King for being the first player to reach 3,000 trophies. This was at a time when the community was beginning to grow rapidly, so he became well known for his achievement. And
to call yourself, I'm part of the Clash of Clans community. It's really funny to me. I feel like I don't care if you play Clash of Clans, but you should have a general sense of shame about it. It should be something that you do in private. It's something that you play and you don't talk to friends about. You know, it's like I do it because I want to fill time. Just have a healthy sense of shame. In Clash of Clans, you shouldn't be open and proud part of the community.
Soon after, the race to 4,000 began. But it wouldn't be long before someone made it there, as in January 28, 2013, Jorge Yao was congratulated for reaching 4,000 trophies, and in the process becoming a bit of a virtual celebrity in the Clash community. However, people were quick to question the legitimacy of this milestone, especially how he had maintained his #1 position for months.
Let people enjoy things. I got a question for you. If someone said Adolf Hitler is bad, would you say let people enjoy things? Is there a limit? Is there a limit to that fucking line? Is there something you could say is bad? Okay? Sometimes shit sucks. Some shit is worse than other shit. People should be allowed to say it, bro. And you know what? Here's my other counterpoint. I enjoy making fun of Clash of Clans. Let me enjoy things, motherfucker. Let me enjoy things. How about that?
Something that was previously unheard of. What exactly was Jorge Yao doing that everyone else wasn't? Today, we're going to be diving into the history of cheating in Clash of Clans. This includes the story of the leaderboards, including Jorge Yao's methods, the rise and fall of mods, and exploits that were used throughout Clash's history.
Thanks for the gifties.
The very first form.
Oh my goodness. Robert Stacks, thank you for the gifties. Appreciate that. Some Awe, thank you for the 9 months. Obligatory Ham, thank you for the 10 months. Drunkard_time lost, thank you for the 3 months. 3 shortest months of my life. Love the work you do, Big A. Can't wait for 3 more. And then you paused and then said, mandatory glizzy gobbler spoon Atrioc glarketer ghost. So not mandatory. The first part was flawless. Totally not mandatory. Nick NZ, thank you for the 4 months. Cruel Copperhead, thank you for the prime. Ninth Floor Cat, thank you for the prime. Appreciate the support. I sincerely do.
Form of cheating was to simply never stop playing. If your village is currently online, you can't get attacked, and back in the day, there was no such thing as a personal break. Theoretically, you could stay online forever. It's unknown how many players in the leaderboards actually used this method at the time, but we do know that it was pretty dang popular. Jorge Yao was interviewed by the New York Times in December 2013 after he retired from Clash, and he explained that in order to keep your trophy count high, a player has to avoid getting attacked by other top contenders by either staying online or being attacked for a shield. He then revealed that in the weekends he would never go offline. His device was with him the entire day, either to keep it awake or clouding looking for any base to attack. Obviously, Jorge wasn't the only one doing this. Players had come up with many unique—
He does not look happy in that photo. That's crazy. What's the pinned comment? Let me see. I play this game and I have a cuck fetish, go figure. That's very funny to me because I thought that Yeti said it because it said pinned by Yeti, and I was like, damn, Yeti, what? Too much information. But it was Striker 6. It was Striker 6.
Ways to keep their device awake without having to be there, like putting fruits on their device because it would trick the screen into thinking there was something touching it, building robots that tap the screen with a stylus.
That's so funny. Did you guys know that people do this at work to, some of you probably done this. You get the mouse jiggler and it moves your mouse so you're constantly awake when you're working from home or trying to keep Teams green so people can tell that you're still working when you're home. I was reading an article that they are cracking down on this. There's like new software that can detect it and people are getting caught and this whole fucking thing. I'm going to talk about it on Monday for Marketing Monday, but I was just reading about this, which is really funny. But using it for Clash of Clans is hilarious.
And even jailbreaking their devices to download softwares that could do it for them. More on that later. If you were one of the players that constantly logged off, getting attacked and losing trophies, playing Clash as it was meant to be, you would have unfortunately never got anywhere near players that were always online. In May 2013, a personal break feature was implemented to enforce players to go offline for a short period of time. However, this could easily be bypassed with mods at the time, and it wouldn't be until early 2014 where this feature actually worked as intended. But this wasn't the only method being used to cheat back then. By late 2012, players were already perfecting the act of win trading. If you're unfamiliar with the term win trading, specifically in gaming, it's basically where one player agrees to lose in a ranked match to boost another player. Jorge Yao, as well as other top players at the time, used a form of win trading where they would leave their clan before going offline. In doing so, the chances of one of their clanmates finding them in matchmaking was very high, especially at such high trophies. They would come to an agreement that if they found one another in matchmaking, they would only destroy the bare minimum of the base to obtain a 12-hour shield. Back then, this would have been at 40% destruction, with or without a star. Depending on the agreement they had, they would have either got 40% and failed the attack, giving free trophies to the defender, or got a 40% 1-star and surrendered right before the 2-star. That way they take less trophies from their clanmates. Whatever method they chose to use would have gave them a 12-hour shield and helped both of them stay at the top of the leaderboards. But sometimes hoping a clanmate finds their base in matchmaking wasn't enough, and it didn't always work either. So to keep reaching new milestones, players like Jorge Yao discovered a new way of win trading: attacking yourself.
Can I ask a question? I want a real answer. What is the value of the trophies? Even in game, what can you do with it? Can you buy things with them? Oh, it's ELO. Okay, it's ELO. Okay. But it's not like you're collecting them to do stuff with them. Okay, it's just ELO. I see.
Players in the leaderboard only got offline for one reason: to tend to their life. You can't be on the damn game 24/7. I mean, I guess you could.
But like, Okay, sorry to follow up that question, but the reason you get high elo in a game like League of Legends, ostensibly, I guess there is bragging rights to it, but there's also money in it if you're that high because you could get put on a team. Was there teams? Was there esports? Was there tournaments? Okay.
Good, but the reality was people had lives. That's when Jorge realized that if he took over someone else's account during the time that they would have normally had a shield, he could use that account to win trade by himself. One thing led to another, and eventually he was managing multiple leaderboard accounts in order to help his main account reach new heights. Playing as much as 5 iPads at once and even taking them to the shower covered in plastic bags. Many players would eventually use these same methods even years later after the shield changes. However, win trading would eventually change as a whole after the Legends League rework in 2019. But before we skip all the way to 2019, I wanted to move away from win trading for a bit and take a look at other forms of cheating in Clash of Clans in those early days. If you were playing between 2013 and 2016, you're most likely familiar with Clash of Clans mods that required you to jailbreak or root your device. The two big players in the scene were iMod and Xmod. I'm only going to be talking about these two because for one, they're the most popular and well-known, and two, it seems they're no longer around, and I much rather talk about something that happened in the past rather than accidentally promote something that's still available. iMod and Xmod were basically tools that assisted you in Clash of Clans. You couldn't spawn 1,000 dragons on someone's base or get unlimited gems. It wasn't that kind of mod. But think of it as having extra settings that you definitely weren't supposed to have. For example, you could copy a base layout before that was an official feature, or as we mentioned earlier, a toggle to keep your base active. However, the capabilities of these mods were way beyond that, and over time they just kept getting better. Firstly, it was a major help for farming because you could set loot parameters. So let's say you set it to 200k gold or elixir. The mod would search and skip for you until it found a base with 200k gold, elixir, or both. It could do this for dark elixir, town halls, levels, pretty much everything. The second main reason these mods were used was because of their sandboxing feature, a feature that let you visit any base and practice attacking it, even having a toggle that allowed you to see the traps. This became a massive problem in both the leaderboard and clan wars because all of a sudden, players using this mod could practice their attacks before actually doing it. This led to many clan wars where everyone was getting perfect 3 stars, and over in the leaderboards, because you usually run into the same bases up there, top players were practicing on each other's bases so they can do good next time they find them. It basically eliminated the need to strategize your attacks. These mods were highly controversial because a lot of players using these mods argued that it wasn't cheating and that it simply helped them enjoy the game in between their busy lives. But at the end of the day, I mean, mods are mods, and anything that gave anyone an advantage is cheating. In April 2016, Supercell finally did something about it and committed to keeping Clash of Clans a level playing field for everyone. They started to issue 2-week bans to anyone who was caught utilizing any third-party app. But after multiple ban waves throughout 2016, it seemed—
2-week ban is so funny because if they're doing the mod, they're obviously a huge fucking whale. So the ban's like, hey, don't use the mod, but don't leave. Like, you know, Steam would permaban for that. But this is like, we need the money. We, you know, like, come on, don't quit, but stop with the mod.
Seems many players still weren't getting the message, and so they started to issue permanent bans to everyone in the fall of 2016. There were attempts from Xmod and iMod to dodge these detection methods Supercell had put in place. However, the more discreet these mods became, the more effort Supercell put into putting an end to it. There was a bit of a resurgence in 2017, specifically in Clan War leagues, but by then Supercell was not messing around. After a few ban waves, thousands of accounts were banned, and this kind of scared people away from doing so. Eventually, players realized that there was no way of guaranteeing that you wouldn't be banned. In the end, these mods began to slowly disappear. Today, it seems they're non-existent, and if you find an alternative, there's a very good chance you'll be banned sooner or later. So
that's a big win. I
don't recommend it. As mentioned a minute ago, mods were used to practice war attacks, and this made Clan Wars feel less about strategy and more about who had mods installed. But there was also a way of doing this without the mods. Ghosting, a way of attacking a base and tricking the game into thinking that you actually weren't attacking it, so it wouldn't count the attack. The exact method was simple and easy to do. You would hit attack on any base, and during the 30-second window the game gave you to spectate, you would set your device to airplane mode. And then you could do anything you wanted. Check the location of traps, see what's in the clan castle, practice your attack. None of it counted because the game just assumed you weren't there. To anyone who was viewing the war screen, it would sort of just look like an attack was going on, but then suddenly stopped after 3 minutes. All of this was possible because between April 2014 and April 2015, you could back out of any attack as long as you didn't drop a troop, much like you can do in regular multiplayer. On April 30th, 2015, you could no longer do this. Backing out would now count as a surrender, so there were a lot of screenshots floating around of people getting 0%. Kind of funny, not gonna lie. This wasn't the end of cheating in wars, as mods were still around in 2015, but it was at least a step in the right direction. However, the topic of ghosting would appear again all the way in 2019. Apparently, leaderboard players had figured out another method of doing so, but it was never revealed how exactly, and I couldn't find any information about it either. It was quickly patched and multiple accounts were banned, and that's all. No. If you had a lot of trophies in the year 2014, you might have come across an exploit that was plaguing the leaderboards. A lot of players were reporting that they would get a client and server out of sync error after only dropping one troop on certain bases. This would cause an automatic 0%,
Wait, I'm sorry. Clash of Clans has generated more money than any other app on the App Store, over 6.4 billion. That's as of 2018. That's as of 2018. That's 6 years ago. God, good goddamn, bro. Good goddamn. $6.4 billion.
Stars, and players affected lost their hard-earned trophies in the process. One of those players who encountered this error was me.
That's more than Genshin. Genshin's only earned 5 billion now. Although it's the fastest game to ever hit 5 billion, so they'll probably pass it, but damn, that is crazy. Wait. Let me just see, dude. Clash of Clans. It said 7 billion in revenue. I'm just scrolling down the list here. Of all public company revenue. Yeah, interesting. Just very interesting. All right.
Happened to be pushing at the time as well, and for the two people who are curious, I believe I peaked at number 6 in the US, but I only have this picture. Anyways, sorry, getting a bit off topic. I vividly remember losing tons of trophies because of this error message. At the time, it was believed it was either a server bug or that those players were using Xmod. However, it turns out it was neither of those. Instead, it seems some players figured out a way to bug their base, and so when someone attacked them, the game would realize that something was wrong with their base. A Reddit post from mid-2014 has some proof of this. Here's a base that someone found that was missing a wizard tower, and as soon as they dropped troops, the error message appeared. But upon visiting their base later that day, the Wizard Tower was back in its place. No one knows how they were managing to unplace defenses and bug their base, and unfortunately we never got the answer to that. The bug was eventually fixed and it was all forgotten about. The players who had abused this exploit and gained tons of trophies from defenses just moved along like nothing ever happened. Meanwhile, tons of players who were affected by this exploit ended up quitting their journey to be the next #1 player. Earlier, we discussed the topic of old school win trading, but ever since the Legends League rework, this method of cheating has evolved, because in Legends League, you cannot lose trophies from attacking, so how would you give trophies to someone else? Well, the main method of win trading was to make an agreement with your friends to never get more than 1 star when they run into each other. That way, those involved lost minimal trophies from defense, but won a lot on offense. This basically allowed those players to gain trophies faster than anybody else doing it legitimately. In 2019, a couple by the name Stephanie and Dr. Mushtaba broke 2 trophy records within the span of 4 months by using this method of win trading. But not only that, they had figured out how to do ghost attacks and a couple of other things. Man, they really wanted that #1 spot bad. As mentioned earlier, we don't know how exactly they did the whole ghosting thing, but we do know that the couple was paying their way to the leaderboards.
It is cute to have like the Valorant style hers and his, you know? Their clan name is Netflix and Chill. And they're a true Clash power couple.
Literally. Apparently they would pay random ass players in the leaderboards $1,500.
There's nothing better than being in a relationship where your joint goal is to get the top of the Clash of Clans leaderboard and you both play obsessively all day, every day and win trade while spending $1,500 to get other people to lose to you. Heart, 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 heart. Sweet.
To change their name to something stupid like Stephanie Heart Mushtaba or some silly variation of the same name. In doing so, this confused Supercell in determining who to ban for all this win trading that was going on. But it also allowed their name to be plastered all throughout the leaderboards.
That's so much worse. They're not even paying them to lose. They're paying them to lose. They're paying them to I am Stephanie, I am Spartacus, the whole fucking leaderboard so they can't get banned. That's so funny.
Eventually, Supercell started to hand out bans for win trading and the ghosting exploit. However, they still had dozens of accounts in the leaderboards throughout 2020 and I believe 2021 because they could simply make new accounts, buy some, or pay someone to change their name. Fast forward to today, their names are a thing of the past, but it's believed that win trading is still a widespread issue in the leaderboards, clan wars, and even the clan capital. Who the hell would want to do that? The developers have gotten better in determining who is doing it, but it's hard to know for sure sometimes. And it's just something that happens in games. The fact is, wherever there is competition, there will always be cheating. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I had tons of fun researching and writing.
I did not know that it would be so stark. I thought it was about money. I guess it sort of ended up being that way, but I thought it was just about whatever person spend the most money on Clash of Clans has the strongest clan, and they would clash the best. I didn't think it would be anything else. But there was some clout porn. I'm going to end stream now. It's 11:15. I'm going to go to sleep on time. Thanks for watching Get Smarter Saturdays today. I really enjoyed it with you. Good game, good night. I don't think I'll be live tomorrow unless I want to play some Elden Ring, and I may want to do that. It depends if I finish my slides. I want to give you some 7s. I may not be live tomorrow. We will have no YouTube video tomorrow. We are break, but then we're back on Monday. Marketing Monday, ready to go. I already did a bunch of the slides. I'm ahead of the game this week. Got to stick to it. 7s, thanks for watching. Appreciate you. I felt really good about the last couple weeks of content, trying to keep it up. Thanks for all the community stuff and excited for more in the future. Big hustle. All right. Bye.